We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love got me going live on the radio. Two mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. Two nights and a mind. Two nights and a mind. Two nights and a mind. Two nights and a mind.
Hello, welcome to Two Minds and a Mind. I am Tuli, one of your hosts, and I'm joined my wonderful co-host. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah, we're live.
Great.
We're live.
Great. That's right. I'm alive.
Doing good, feeling good. I'm looking good. What more can I say? Oh yeah.
You said more than enough when you said that. I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
said nothing, sir.
That confidence is
Oh,
good though.
Yeah, well, I can
Tell
tell
you,
you.
To all the people understanding my voice, I have a special announcement I want to make.
Go
Ooh.
ahead.
That announcement is it is officially watermelon season. Everybody go get your watermelon. One of these nights on Two Mics and Mine, we're gonna have a watermelon Thursday.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Drop the mic after that. Just drop the mic and walk away.
Mhm.
But what do you think
Well,
about
it-
buying
it-
watermelon anywhere you can buy? Tuli, you are a watermelon expert by now, I would say. Would you say that you're able to buy watermelon anywhere? Are you able to find a good watermelon anywhere?
What do you mean? You're saying it in respect of they have them different places, or wherever I am, I can find one.
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. You know, Walmart, even Walmart, you find a watermelon and it's fine.
I mean, if they got it, yeah,
Okay.
I would think. I would say yes. Why?
Okay.
Somebody else feel that way? How do you feel?
Some people just find watermelons and they found sweet watermelons. I'm usually like markets, but if you say anywhere, I'm gonna start going to the regular supermarkets because I heard there's watermelons in regular supermarkets right now. So I'm gonna go buy me one. And Bueno told me they're sweet. So
He definitely don't know. You go with what he say, you'll find out.
See, let,
And
have you
they're
ever heard of Willacoochee, Georgia, and Douglas, Georgia?
they're off.
Yeah. Nobody will.
So let me tell you something. I got educated about watermelons. My education stemmed all the way back from the roots of Willacoochee, Georgia, and Douglas, Georgia. That's where my watermelon expertise come from. So I know everything I'm talking about when it comes to watermelon. I've been taught from the best of them.
I see that man know nothing about watermelon. He eat anything.
What? No, I'm talking.
he eat anything.
I tell you, if Wayne don't tell me about somewhere it's a good ring, I don't think of it's some people. Listen, some people I don't even take it because everybody got different tastes.
Yes.
He like he eats a lot of junk, and he won't even pay attention that it's really junk. He'll just eat and slobber over it, and yeah, it's terrible. Every right, he gonna find something good. Listen, if he tell me about the restaurant, now I tell who'll see you on a good day, on a good goose chase on the restaurant. Dave. Woo! Spade partner. Best spade partner on the planet. Me and Dave, we cover the universe with that. Dave said,
He's an
please
explorer.
check this restaurant. Man, we went to that Mediterranean restaurant out there. Man, that thing, no, it was terrible. They had some like appetizer they brought out. It was like 2 pieces of spinach, a couple pieces of slice of tomato, some kind of white cheese I would never eat because like frozen mayonnaise.
Wait.
Man, I don't eat this.
Wait, is it the place that the other? Is that
I
the
like it.
Is
Yeah, we
that-
had that.
I think I went there.
That was up in Buckhead on the other side, like I'm on Alpharetta, Buckhead, up that way. You went out there. Yeah, I probably went out there. That Mediterranean restaurant.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, wherever it was up in I kind of going Alpharetta. Yeah, Sandy Spring, Alpharetta.
Okay.
Oh, that's the place you guys went to that the Dave recommended. I think I went there with Dave.
Yeah, you probably did.
I liked it.
No, you probably liked it. You liked it, didn't you?
It was all right. I think it was all right. The meat needed more flavor, I feel like.
Yeah, they didn't do it good. Man, they hitting out like that. Probably that time later. She asked, come on, I asked for some virgin tea. I said, listen, lady, don't bring that stuff over here. I gotta get laid when I get through. I'll spend my money.
Sick.
What kind of tea was you order?
Oh,
Frozen.
it was just green tea. It was just a green.
It's like I heard you said virgin.
I got a passion one. I got a passion tea. It was really good. The teas were good.
Hey,
Did you have any passion when you got through?
I mean, preacher.
I don't go to restaurants just to drink tea. I don't do that.
No, I don't.
What? It was really yummy. The teas are really good. They were really good.
Yeah, but I don't go to a restaurant for the tea.
who
I'll
goes?
tell you what.
If you go to
I'm gonna tell you a place they got some really, really good restaurants and got really, really good teas, and that is when you shop the Rock. If you shop the Rock, you will find some of the most widest variety of restaurants, best customer service ever. So I recommend shopping the Rock. And my motto is, why go to Buckhead when you can shop the Rock?
Have you been shopping the Rock?
That's what we do around here. Yes, ma'am.
Sound like he been shopping the crack or something. I don't know
Under the Rock.
No, shop the Rock. We live in the Rock. We're trying to get the Rock jumping too. Farmers market are good. Farmers market, but really, we go to farmers market. It's not like it used to be because like the farmers markets here now all import their foods from somewhere else. The farmers market, like especially, I grew up. When I was in elementary, we went there a lot. They would take us to the farmers market. We went in there, you buy pomegranates, it'd be, farm. You bought from farm. These people now, you go, those aren't farmers. Those people are immigrants from other countries that defecate a lot of time. Okay, around these places, listen, the farmer market is terrible these days because you're not getting homegrown stuff. Go to the one in the Cal Farmer Market. That junk is coming from other countries. They got kind of issues and stuff going on with their food and produce, and they shipping here sets too long. Let me tell you what I did. I bought some fish for now. Worst fish ever. I don't buy no fish out of that farm market. It's terrible. All they're doing is shooting that stuff up with dye to make it look red. Remember I cooked some fish when you went in your bed? It was terrible. I never bought. That was like what, 2010 or 11 maybe. I never bought no more fish. I just don't. Yeah, everything there is really changing. I'm a proponent for, and I mentioned before, of getting people together and creating one where you give real farmers an opportunity to come and sell their produce. Real farmer, that you want license, you want information, you want these people to stand behind their stuff. Yeah, I don't want nobody just come on the street selling nothing or come to the market. You need to be able to attract these people to know, so you are responsible for your product. Ain't no come sell something and run off. Your name graded, no graded. We need ID, because you're dealing with people health, and we want people, give the people that are here in America opportunity to sell their products. A lot of people still farming. They would love to bring and say, hey, my stuff organic, or my stuff is not. Then let us check it out. Let's make sure. So we say this person is this insurance. They need to have insurance. So if somebody gets sick, you need to cover your stuff and give real Georgia farmers and other farmers in America opportunity to sell their product. When you go to the farmer market, go find everything is going to come from Guyana. It's going to come from Mexico. You're not helping. That's not no farmer's market.
That's true.
That's a cesspool. Those people, a lot of people defecate in the fields on their food. I'm leery of people now. I don't know. I'm just going to places. I'm just watching people. I'm just being honest. You get sick, death by a spoon or fork. That's how you die. Because people today don't really care about the safety of people and making sure they're, getting clean, make sure that stuff, watching what pesticide. If you're using something, that's not natural things you use. We farmed before, remember? And with us, we used, and I appreciate Rod. Rod was instrumental with that, creating. You can take pepper and make bug spray. They won't eat pepper. It's too hot. Some natural. You spray your produce with pepper. They keep the bug away. They won't eat it. Anything green. And I try to watch. I suggest anytime people buying things green, it has to be organic. It has to be green. Is sprayed more because it's like leaves. Bugs. What color is outside typically? Grass. Leaves. Everything is green. Flower. The leaves they're green. So that's what they eat. So when you're growing green vegetables, they're going to attack it. That's why they put, like whenever you buy apples, spinach, and you buy them regular, people don't, you have more pesticides on it because of the color. Like red peppers, yellow peppers aren't going to get as much spray because they're looking at colors where they'll eat them, but the color is what typically going to draw them. Green pepper, they're going to be heavy. I don't even really eat green peppers. I try to stay away from them. They're so heavily sprayed with pesticides.
Green peppers.
And while they're trying to kill, you got to think about it. Bugs eat what you eat. So if the spray killed the bug, what did it do to you? People are like, bugs are nasty. What do bugs eat? Y'all tell me, what do bugs eat? They the same thing we eat. Bugs are nasty. You're not nasty. So they ain't fit for a bug to kill a bug. What you think it'll do to you? Bill. To see all of y'all, he said farming markets are good. Yeah. I mean, you got to get the real farmers. Not saying now that these real farmers don't screw up either, but there are a lot of farmers that would love to be able to display and sell their stuff without taking the loss of trying to shoot overseas, like someone they can sell. Farmer markets aren't like they used to be. The only farmer market we had that farmers really came to and sold, remember, that was in Forest Park.
Yeah.
Now, what do you got? The cab market, the people who grow their product, you can't say. I want to see the person that grew the product. Stand behind your product. But that's like the Covenant Farmers Market. I didn't know they had one, which is it will begin 2025. Say May the 17th with age. No one's got on that.
Agricultural Day.
Oh, that's that. Oh, I don't know why I say
on the square.
On the square.
You can actually go there, and that's where you can actually do just that. You can meet the actual farmers. They call it heirloom. You can actually meet the actual farmers, have conversation with the farmers, and ask them specifically how do they grow their food, do they use pesticides, all that stuff, because that's the only actual farmers market. But it's supposed to be very popular right there in the Covington Square.
They have that too.
I would say, yeah, I use pesticides.
I mean, you get to see the person. I mean, sometimes generally seeing the person, you can talk to a person, ask them about their growth. You know, certain things you ask people, you can hear them talk, conversate, and kind of realize. I had a guy years ago, I don't think to the man, you should drive for Arnell Gator. I bought some eggs from him. I bought some corn from him. Man, his stuff was so good. He was like, he don't spray anything. It was years ago. His stuff was so beautiful. He like ants. He like those are God's. Those are God's tillers. He like, why would you kill them? He like, I don't kill the bugs. They gotta eat. I like, he taught me. He was like, they gotta eat too.
Right.
So I was like, you're right. So, but people don't realize that's why you growing up. Man had become so greedy. He don't want nobody. Let me tell you, his greed from farming has gone over to his greed in everyday life. He doesn't want to lose nothing. He wants everything. Look how he does it. That's why people not a concern. Healthcare is not a concern. People retirement is not a concern. He's not trying to lose anything. A farmer is trying to make every seed profitable. It's impossible. That's why you grow so much, because you're going to get lost. It's going to be stricken. It's going to be animals. It might be even the people that come by and just strangers that might eat. But you grow enough to where I still can feed my family. I can still sell and make a profit. That's life. You can't make profit on everything you do. People, I make a profit on everything I do. You greedy. Everybody wants to, but it's not practical. So a lot of times these farmers, they just like, and they make farmers greedy because look at that. When they put it on the stock exchange, look what this stuff sell for. Look what they sell for in the market. You think I sold you my beans at 25 cents a piece. You got them in here selling for $1.30. Now, not that stores don't have transportation costs, storage costs, employee cash register, lights, building, all the things you got to pay for, but a lot of times they're greedy. And then the consumer's paying more money. So when the consumer's paying more money, not bringing in money, this is a recipe for disaster.
That's right. Recipe for disaster, indeed. And speaking for a recipe of disaster, the first video I want to bring up to y'all and get y'all opinion on is something that happened in a small town called Chester, New York. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Chester, New York, but I want to briefly play. It's about a 2-minute video, and I want you to get y'all to share y'all thoughts on this. So without further ado, let's take a further look.
Tonight, newly obtained surveillance video reportedly showing the moment an elected official in upstate New York outside his home. The driver, who has not been publicly named, was attempting to deliver food to a house in Chester, New York, police say, when he became lost and unable to navigate using the app. They say he approached several homes asking for directions before arriving at the residence, seen here at a nearby address just before the shooting in a video obtained by News 12. State police say he then went to the home of New York Highway Superintendent John Riley, who is also a federally licensed firearms dealer. Another video obtained by News 12 reportedly showing the 48-year-old walking out of his house. The video appears to show Riley initially shooting into the side of his yard, yelling at the driver to leave as the DoorDash driver turned on his ignition. Go! Go! Moments later, firing toward the vehicle after the driver starts to reverse. Shooting once more as the victim drove off. Police say one of the bullets struck the driver in the back, causing serious injuries. Riley tonight out on bail, but facing felony assault and criminal weapon possession charges, according to state police.
Just shock, disbelief, disgust. I just can't believe that took place.
Chester Town Supervisor says the town board is holding a special meeting Tuesday morning to consider calling for Riley's resignation.
We can't fire him. We can't unappoint him. We can't put him on leave of any type. He's elected.
Riley did not return our request for comment. A DoorDash spokesperson saying, quote, "No one should ever fear for their safety just for trying to make deliveries in their neighborhood. We're devastated by the senseless act of violence and we're wishing the Dasher a full and speedy recovery."
This situation isn't representative of the town of Chester. We are good people. This is a complete outlier in terms of, how we treat anybody from outside the community.
Riley does not yet have a new court date scheduled. Shaquille Brewster, NBC News.
Dr. Joe Tooley, y'all talk to me. What's up? What y'all think about it initially?
Poor guy. Yeah, at the end of the day, we need these people. And we need Uber drivers as much as, we need these people. But you know what it is? This other people breaking into houses and ruin it for this other people that are actually working. But I don't think he should have shoot him like that. It's just, I don't know. We're losing compassion. You have a camera. Ask what you want. I don't know. I don't understand what the shooting was about. So, yeah. Poor guy.
I don't know if I get lost stuff. I don't know.
That a lot of stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You got to have I'm going knocking on people's doors. I'm gonna drive out find a store. I'm not going knocking on nobody's door.
Go back to the store to people.
I'm knocking on my shoot. I'm knocking on my door. I'm coming on. I don't care what you come to do. I ain't taking no chances. And it's just that way with people night or day. I remember it was snowing. I had a guy come around my door, snowing outside. I'm like, who at the door? I'm looking at the guy standing big old guy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, can I stand in your yard and take pictures? I said, what? No, get out my yard. Have you done stuff they growing me? I'm like, are you serious? He wanted to stand in my yard to take a picture of something he was drawing with his hands down at a pool down from me. I'm trying to think, are you a grown man? You serious? People in the bed, you actually can't knock on my door for their foolishness? Like, man, get out my yard. Get away from my door. What were you thinking? I'm thinking it's not if you come, I'm gonna know you come to my house. Why would you pop up my house? I don't pop up with people. I'm gonna call you. Hey, I'm coming over. Now you need to let people know. You don't know what's going on, what people doing. There's so much scheming and other stuff going on. I had somebody pull up one time, the charger, like, yeah. And it's something like wrong. Okay, now listen. When I told you the wrong address, we through having a conversation. I don't have time to keep talking to you. It ain't wrong address. If I want to tell you if I knew what it was, don't you think I would have told you? It's just you can't take a whole lot of conversation because people trying to decide, are you talking from somewhere else or are you actually at home? So certain things you say lead people around. You might have a ring camera, but I could kick your door in and do something before you call the police. The 2 young guys knocked and pulled my tell you something now. Shh, man, that'd be a bad idea. 2 young guys knocked and pulled my door on my ring camera. Lucky I wasn't home. 100% Rambo 6 coming out. Listen, man, I'm trying to tell you. I had some neighbors, they were talking about one Halloween. It was like somebody, they're like, yeah, they knocked on the door. We didn't answer the door, my wife. Then we heard them turning the door. And so, we went to, hey, don't turn. I'm like, you went to tell them? Like, this man, listen, that worked for you. That worked for you. I mean, more power to it. Glad they didn't get shot. But man, you playing around with somebody's door, people looking at, they feel like they want to tell you, let somebody come in your house. You already did too much damage at that point. If my door off the hinge, how long is it going to take me to get my door put back up?
Let me ask you this. The guy, he is out on bail. What do y'all take in terms of him being out on bail?
Let's show you what kind of place the town is. He couldn't have elected official.
You don't know about it. It's his first offense, and he's an elected official. I mean, some people get breaks,
But I guess since they actually have the video footage,
Yeah.
there's no deliberation needed, So that's more so. I mean, that's a clear-cut case where.
Well, let's look at this too now.
I know, because
We did not see all of the video. If you saw that show him on the porch, then it did not show him get away. They did not show him leaving one of his vehicles. So his knocking could have been erratic. He could have, been checking the door. I don't know. I ain't making an excuse, but once a person leave, they say, okay, once a person leave, they come outside your house with the gun strapped on and they're shooting the ground and they shoot the car backing out. There's a little more to this story that I'm sure we're not hearing. I mean, even though you have direct, I'm gonna say, hey man, get away from my door. Not come out my house with the gun shooting and then shoot while you backing out. That makes no sense.
Because I didn't hear him saying like get out of my door, like back up, or it just shows randomly him shooting.
They could have cut that for court. The fact that a judge gave him a bond with such serious charges, whether first offense or not, certain charges like you recklessly shoot. Once you discharge your firearm, they're already gonna get you for shooting in the city limits. Okay. Then the fact that you shot at the car, you could have hit somebody out walking. Then you shot that the car was leaving. There's no defense for it. He was in the car. He backing out. I shot. Then I shot him driving down the street. If my door was coming off the hinges, I felt like, hey, that person could come back. That person was at my door and they could have got away. I felt like they were gonna come back. That's your feelings, but that's a lot, man. You shoot down the street, you should call the police. It's just a lot of things you gotta do when you're doing stuff like that. I mean, them doors, putting on them doors and your footprint on my door, man, this one kick. That's it. After that, trying to make sure you don't kick nothing else. That's just crazy. We just gotta, as human beings, before we take the approach of shooting, killing one another, we need to try to. We just everybody unhinged.
Yeah.
Look how far this guy is, and you think it's shoot down there and then shoot down. What if somebody would have been walking their dog? They're like, I only walk or run at night. Where's the bullet going?
Look, he's literally gone, and he's still shooting at the car as it's gone.
I don't understand that part.
Look, he takes another shot at it right there when the car going down the road.
Yeah. They'll play that in court. He's
Definitely done.
But I mean, they like him. They're doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's he's in the town where they know him, so he knows that.
Right.
Oh yeah. That's how they let. And I don't care what elected officials. You doing stuff like that, man. People had to know this man had done crazy. What was the purpose of shooting in your grass? So
that's the warning shot.
No, that's not a warning
shot.
Grass. I think that wasn't.
I honestly feel like some people have anger issues. There was no reason.
You can tell, even when you turn the audio on, you can hear it in his voice.
They came outside like and then shoot him and walk away. Like that made no sense. Why am I shooting in the grass? It's the one that he tears. Go. He pressed the gas. Okay. You hear him accelerate the gas. I mean, I know he had to be nervous. This man just shot.
He shot him in the back. Yeah.
No, he was an idiot. Needs to lose his gun rights for 5 to 10. He needs to lose them longer than that. He don't have a business with any guns. Now you can't have a gun.
That's an emotional. That's an emotional.
Like he's an elected official, but the governor see this, the governor gotta look at he needs to be all they gotta do is petition the governor for that. I mean, you're an elected official, you just out here shooting at cars down the street that knocked at your door. I mean, it ain't that it's just a person that you even want in a position of decision making. You just show poor judgment right there.
Yes. Yes.
But think about this.
And he the gun safety instructor.
Now on top of the fact of, I mean, if he shot like that for somebody that was Caucasian, what he'd have done if there'd been a dark skinned person doing DoorDash?
That was a Hispanic kid, I think.
Oh, the kid was Hispanic?
I think so, yeah.
It sounds like let's see him. He sound like he excuse me.
Or Asian, something like that. He definitely was something else.
Yeah, I don't know what his race is, but I know, oh my goodness, that right there.
What's the name?
Go back to it, Wayno.
I got a bunch of screens open. I was looking for it again. Let me see if this is the right one.
Showing the moment an elected official in upstate New York shot a DoorDash driver outside his home. Who was not publicly named, was attempting to deliver food to a house in Chester, New York. Police say he became lost and unable to navigate using the app. They say he approached several homes asking for directions before arriving at the residence. Seen here at a nearby address just before the
she might have some type of
State police say he then went to the home of New York Highway Superintendent John Riley, who is also a federal.
He had an accent.
Yeah, he does.
He has a federal permit to be able to sell guns, and that was really bad. Oh, he's gonna lose that. You know what kind of that's a clearance you have to do that.
Yeah.
To be able to sell firearms from your home to do that, yeah. So he has a lot of weapons. They're gonna ATF will go through his stuff. Especially you doing that, you got to figure. And this is the part that happened. This could have been his first time incident, but because this is so erratic, and you got to look at what else could this guy have done. Yeah. That's a lot.
Oh,
I mean, that's a lot. This man is like really unhinged.
Yeah.
You shot in the grass for no reason. That wasn't in the car. So then you say had a car bagging out, you shoot. Then you shoot a while going. So what happened from him from the door to that point? Because you see the camera after he's on the porch, it never showed us him getting in the car. Now it shows him coming out with his rifle on and his handgun. Something happened in that interchange. They probably gave out some words to one another that we don't hear that'll come out in court. But those words you can't shoot people for words. Unless I'm going to my car to get my gun to kill you. That's different.
Yeah.
I'm curious on what else happened that you came outside. Why didn't you come outside when he's on the porch? You let him go all the way to the car. So what happened with the interaction on the porch? No doubt there was some real words said, and that guy probably like, man, you sound crazy. And walked off, and he probably, who you think you calling crazy? You at my door, I'm going to show you crazy. I'm just speculating. That's a lot. He came out. He could have came out while he was on the front porch.
Yeah. Is there any other videos going on anywhere else?
Yeah, they do. Here's one of them right here showing the driveway approach.
Okay.
Apparently the storage is saying that the DoorDash driver, his cell phone went dead, and the neighborhood that he was driving in was at nighttime. He was confused and didn't know how to get out of there.
There was, we're told, something of a language barrier between the two. And when it was over, the 24 facing serious, a highway superintendent facing serious charges for shooting a DoorDash delivery man who got lost and knocked on the superintendent's front door for directions. There was, we're told, something of a language barrier between the two. And when it was over, the 24-year-old driver from West Africa was shot in the back with serious injuries. But
yeah,
how
he
and
sounded
why
like
this happened in the town of
West
Chester
Africa.
remains troubling, to say the least. With the story,
That makes sense.
News reporter Lindsay Tuckman.
A DoorDash worker drove down this driveway Friday, apparently looking for help, only to be met with gunfire. A town of Chester elected official now accused of shooting him.
My heart goes out to the driver.
State police say the 24-year-old DoorDash delivery driver had been trying to drop off food on Valerie Drive, but his phone died. He went up to several homes to ask for directions.
Yeah, it's an expensive
before
area.
eventually approaching the home of Chester's highway superintendent, John Riley III. Troopers say Riley told the driver to get off his property before firing multiple shots as he attempted to drive off. The 48-year-old, who also is a federally licensed firearms dealer, hit the victim in the back. Patricia Warmbrand lives across the street.
He's a good person, so I don't know what happened. It was unfortunate, and we're sorry for the whole situation.
Family members of the victim tell Eyewitness News he had just moved to nearby Middleton a month ago from West Africa and doesn't speak English.
There's nothing to indicate that the victim had any nefarious intentions. He was just out there doing his job, trying to make a food delivery.
In a statement, the town supervisor said, quote, "We are deeply troubled by what has been reported so far. As an elected official, the town board does not have control over Mr. Riley's future as highway superintendent." And DoorDash responding, saying, "No one should ever fear for their safety just for trying to make deliveries in their neighborhood. We're devastated by this senseless act of violence." Riley was arrested the next day and charged with assault as well as criminal possession of a firearm.
Assault?
The victim is still in the hospital but recovering. He says, though, he is traumatized. In Orange
What about
County,
attempted murder?
Channel 7
Yeah, should it be attempted murder? What in the world?
What in the world? I can't.
What in the world? What?
We got to
I thought
remember.
it was attempted murder. I mean, you're still shooting. The guy is leaving.
They had to charge him where it makes sense to get him a bond. Y'all got to remember, they got codes. We just don't know them.
What?
Well, certain codes don't allow you to get a bond. So if you put it where, okay, it looks serious, but it's not too serious, well, we can't give him a bond. You put attempted murder, you can't let him out of jail. If you put on something like that, assault, then he said, well, language barrier. I told him to leave. I don't tell him what story he's going to tell, but the one thing about it, the ring camera going to tell the story.
That's right. That's it.
That's what's going to hurt him.
I don't know where the threat was.
When the jury look and see a ring camera and the ring camera not showing what you're saying, I fear for my life, so I put my gun on my rifle and my handgun. I came outside. You couldn't feel you came outside. I shot in the grass, one shot. Then he started backing out, so I shot at him. It's caught, and then around the street, I shot again. No jury gonna buy that. They're just trying to hold. They're gonna try to hold this case off long enough that the news will forget about it.
Wow.
Give 2 more days. Somebody else will do something stupid. Look, all it needs is another story to cut. Look at him. Shannon Sharp helped took away from the P. Diddy case. All right. It's down. They stopped talking. Smokey Robinson got a case. You keep waiting on other cases to come in and overshadow it. It's another story. Somebody else will do something stupid, so we'll forget about it. This will get blown on the rug. They'll keep postponing, putting it down. I'm sure he connected. It made no sense for a judge to give him a bond. It's when they looked at the condition. The police could have told him. And based on that, the prosecutor would have had to listen and would have recommended no bond in this case. Based off of, you shot a residential neighborhood down the street twice. You shot in the grass for no reason.
No reason.
No reason.
The guy was leaving and you're still shooting. Like, that's an emotional
reason.
Shooter right there.
You can't shoot somebody for sitting in front of your house. You don't own the street.
Right.
Call police, ask people to ask them to move, but you can't shoot people sitting in front of your house. But that was a bad decision. You know what he got? Then the fact that you licensed to sell firearm, and a man like that, you got to really ATF really got to go through his stuff. Cause really, they covering for him. They know good well. Then you heard they said illegal firearm. Back there, did you hear them say that? Can you play that part again? I thought they said the gun was illegal.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that part.
And the fact
let me go back and see if I can find the video.
He should have been turned over to the ATL.
Yeah, okay. I just found the video. Let me load it up.
Orange County, a highway superintendent facing serious charges for shooting a DoorDash delivery who got lost and knocked on the superintendent's front door for directions. There was, we're told, something of a language barrier between the two. And when it was over, the 24-year-old driver from West Africa was shot in the back with serious injuries. But how and why this happened in the town of Chester remains troubling, to say the least. With the story, here's Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman.
A DoorDash worker drove down this driveway Friday, apparently looking for help, only to be met with gunfire. A town of Chester elected official now accused of shooting him.
My heart goes out to the driver.
State police say the 24-year-old DoorDash delivery driver had been trying to drop off food on Valerie Drive, but his phone died. He went up to several homes to ask for directions before eventually approaching the home of Chester's highway superintendent, John Riley III. Troopers say Riley told the driver to get off his property before firing multiple shots as he attempted to drive off. The 48-year-old, who also is fully licensed firearms, hit the victim in the back. Patricia Warmberg lives across the street.
He's a good person, so I don't know what happened. It was unfortunate, and we're sorry for the whole situation.
Family members of the victim tell Eyewitness News he had just moved to nearby Middleton a month ago from West Africa and doesn't speak English.
There's nothing to indicate that the victim had any nefarious intentions. He was just out there doing his job, trying to make a food delivery.
In a statement, the town supervisor said, quote, "We are deeply troubled by what has been reported so far. As an elected official, the town board does not have control over Mr. Riley's future as highway superintendent." And DoorDash responding, saying, "No one should ever fear for their safety just for trying to make deliveries in their neighborhood. We're devastated by this senseless act of violence." Riley was arrested the next day, charged with assault as well as criminal possession of a firearm. The victim is still in the hospital but recovering. He says, though, he is traumatized. In Orange County, Lindsay Tuckman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Wait, criminal possession of a firearm?
The gun had to be the gun was illegal.
Oh, that
But
type.
see, that's the thing. He should be, and I'm sure somebody's going to recommend over to the Fed. He should be turned over to the FBI. Because you got to, this is the thing. So they had to approve you through ATF now to get a license. Right. Yeah.
Right.
The fact that you selling you had a hot weapon and you licensed to sell firearms. That was me. No, I ain't weird. They just tell us what you're doing.
Yep.
No doubt getting your hands on guns and you moving around and they got their eyes off you because they looking at you license. They trying to catch people the whole time. You the criminal.
Whole time he the criminal. Yep.
Wow.
And he saw he weren't thinking, so he ran out here with a gun. That was hot to even shoot at him. I mean, all those charges made sense for him not, first of all, him not to be there. They're covering the man shot. He had anyone who's an Atlanta native has been mentioned when he did it to him. All right, I know him. He on another subject. We didn't know about that. Somebody from Atlanta been mentioned in those tapes. Let us know about that, Corey. But he talking about another subject. You through with that? If you're through with that, sir.
Said those homes. Oh. I don't know.
Give me a piece of Hayward food. This is for Jahi and for Hayward. Sometimes you gotta let animals know too. They people, well, they have some people tendency quality.
Wow. All right, so here we go. I just found it then. The one about that Royal Kadash posted in the chat. Haven't watched this one yet, so let's see. We'll both watch this for the first time together as we see what it says. Here we go.
Sex, even though they admitted in their opening argument.
In New York City, defense attorneys for Sean Combs began their cross-examination of his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Ventura is 8 months pregnant. This will be her 3rd day of testimony. Prosecutors told the judge today they are afraid she may have the baby over the weekend, and they want to stand as quickly as possible.
Ventura is 4 women who accuse the rap mogul of forcing them into drug-fueled sex parties. He's also accused of physical and sexual abuse. The 55-year-old has denied all the allegations. NBC News correspondent Rahima Ellis joins us now just outside the courthouse. Rahima, this has been just undoubtedly an emotional week for Cassie. Frankly, emotional for people following the case. The details are so hard to hear. She broke down several times in tears. Describe what she says her relationship was like with Combs.
It's interesting that the defense is doing what it said it would do in opening statements, and that is they're trying to present a case where this was all about consensual sex, even though they admitted in their opening arguments that there was violence. They were saying they're going to prove that it's consensual and not the charges that he's facing in federal court, which is including racketeering and sex trafficking. So they had her read emails where she's talking about how much she loves him and explains the relationship and how she wants to be with him, including even being a part of these freak-offs which he had introduced. And here the attorney, the defense attorney says, why did you want to spend so much time with him? And Ventura says, I wanted to spend so much time with him in 2010 because I fell in love with him. He was charismatic, big personality, larger than life. It should be mentioned that it was also revealed this morning in the text. She sent a text to him starting to question these freak-offs and being in sexual involvement with other men. And she said in the email that this kind of activity is something she thought she would engage with her husband and not with other people. So it's interesting that the defense is playing that particular email because she is starting to have some questions.
All right, well, Rahima, we know prosecutors are hoping to wrap up Cassie's testimony today. Does that look likely?
Well, that's what the prosecutors want. I'm not going to tell you that's what the defense attorneys want. They had suggested that she would be on the stand all day today, all day tomorrow, and who knows, it could even go into Monday. That, of course, if she does not give birth, as there is talk in the courtroom today, that they were hoping that they could move this along, Cassie Ventura's attorneys were saying, because she is 8 months pregnant. She is very close to her due date. And in fact, it could happen at any point. So the defense has a lot of questions that they want to present to Cassie Ventura. Whether or not they'll have an opportunity to get through their whole defense argument and presentation before she gives birth, we don't know.
All right, Rahima Ellis, live outside the courthouse for us. Thank you so much.
What? What did I do with Atlanta?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Huh?
I don't know what Roy Kadash is saying. Roy Kadash, can you answer that question?
How did you pick?
He asked the question, who has anyone who's an Atlanta native has been mentioned in these Diddy tapes? He asked you the question. You just played a video.
No, you're not asking me the question. You know, I don't know.
He just asked, boy.
What was the person you playing that video?
Right.
No, I'm playing the video to give the latest update about the Diddy thing.
Oh,
latest update. I haven't heard anybody say anything about Atlanta.
Oh, okay. All right. So where do we go from
Fair
here?
use YouTube.
About the mental health aspect to them and Dr. Joe.
Say what?
Somebody said, yeah, they got some preachers from Atlanta on Diddy's tapes. All right, preacher. That's your bishop right there.
I know it.
What's up, man?
Repent, Bishop.
He just said that he already know I ain't on that. Listen, I ain't worried about no preacher escapade. Them guys, I know I ain't on that. Bishop, no, I ain't on that. I know you having fun on that, but yeah, That's a lot of people. I tell you what, though, if y'all look, they have curved this this case so much. We went from 120 people that were filing to now 5 people testifying, because a lot of people gonna be involved, names coming out, which is gonna put him on the end of. I'm not going to say he could very well walk out this with a lot less time than what people thinking.
What? Yes.
Time served.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
your prediction?
Tell me
They
what you
went
guys
from 20 people to 5 people. Only 5 people testifying for the defense.
Mm.
What happened to 120 people? Lil Rod got all these statements. What happened? All his stuff.
All you need is one charge, though.
No, you got to get him for racketeering. You got to prove
Oh,
racketeering.
there are the charges right there.
What do you think about Cassie trying to commit suicide?
What is it?
I hear echo. Let me mute my microphone. Y'all go ahead.
I'm trying to read the
Oh, it says Sean D. Combs is facing a federal trial in New York, charged with racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, what I know about that last count, the count with transportation to engage in prostitution, that's also known as the Mann Act. That boxer, I can't remember the boxer's name. He goes about that's the act that they convict him of.
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson. So I think that they will get him on that last count, which is the transportation to engage in prostitution. That sounds like something they can get him on.
But let me ask you,
that's 20 years right there.
how he gonna do that if he didn't bring the people? Or is he saying he transported Cassie to do it?
No, so he also, before Cassie got on stand, he had a prostitute that got up there and testified that Puff Daddy would, have the prostitutes come at his freak offs. So there was a lot of prostitutes involved. It ain't just Cassie. If you ask me, Cassie, it sounds more like a domestic violence thing.
I'm not talking about. I know. I'm not talking about. I'm saying, if I invite you to a party, come to my party. Why am I responsible for how you get there? Why am I liable if you get in a car accident on the way? So why is he liable if I invite you somewhere and you bring yourself? Why am I responsible? Why am I being why is he being charged?
So I think you simplifying it, you more so like a delivery, like, hey, I'm staying home and I call you and you come. I think what they're saying is he actually sends cars to go and pick up the prostitutes, fly the prostitutes out, pay for their plane tickets. So he transport them, quote unquote, like that. Yeah, I think is what they're saying.
I didn't know he was paying. I mean, that's
But
a lot.
Payments from Cassie. So Cassie was making the payment. Cassie was
Right,
initiating.
she was doing that. Exactly. She was paying. They got
Well, he says it was consensual that she was doing this thing.
You took the money as prostitutes, charge the man for whatever the counts of prostitution. That's what you want to do. It's illegal in the state. Charge them for prostitution like you do other people.
Yeah.
They can pay for that. For him hitting and beating on her, she took the money. This worked to me what hurt with a lot of these women cases.
Yep.
You go after the money before you go after getting these guys in jail.
Yep.
You were good in your thing. Cause look at this. She never filed charge even before them.
Never did. Never did.
Okay, let's go with he sedated her, he messed up. Once you left, you had enough sense to sue him for $20 million. Okay?
Yep.
And you also press charges. Because it was about the money.
But I really believe, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that maybe, you know how you tell somebody, you share your experience and share your story with somebody, and somebody said, girl, you get paid for that. I think she was, I would just looking out, outside looking in. She could have been just wanted to be done with it, which is why she left. And it took so long after to file those charges.
It could have been.
She could have just been gone. I'm tired. I'm just done.
She did try to commit suicide.
Say what?
She did try to commit suicide by jumping into traffic.
She jumped in where?
In traffic.
She
using
did.
drugs too.
She
I don't know nothing about that.
I ain't never heard.
You know that? I never heard.
I'm gonna see if I can find the article.
Yeah, find the article and send it to me. But what I want to really do is more so only comment on the stuff that was actually mentioned in court. Because Dr. Joe, if you bringing up something that she never even said on testimony stand, then that's irrelevant. What I can say today is the first day of cross examination, and the day of cross examination, them lawyers was ripping her up. They pulled up text messages, they pulled up emails where she was basically saying how she loved him. She loved the freak off. She can't wait till the next freak off. She willing to fly wherever for him, and she'll do whatever for him. She want to have his baby. When is he gonna give up his baby and all this? I mean, oh yeah, and oh yeah. They brought now. They talk about all that in court.
It was a day. It was a day ago.
The fact is like, well, the cross-examination attorney said, "Hey, Cassie, is it true that you've been in a back and forth relationship where you've been dating him for the past 11 years?" And she said, yeah, she been dating for the last 11 years. She been in love with him. She loved him. He means the world. She means the world to him. And then they start asking them, like, you know, Cash, did you get mad when you found out he was cheating on you? And she was like, yeah, she had got mad sometimes. And then she started saying how she's also into voyeurism, you know, as well as him. It ain't just him. You know that movie Billions with Chuck. Chuck wasn't the only one on that movie Billions doing that stuff, you know. So it's really explicit.
I sent it to you in the chat. Do you want me to put it here, Love Doctor?
Yeah, send it in the private chat. Absolutely, put it on the private chat.
I put it on two mics. You want me to put it here in that chat?
Put it on the private chat. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, it was a day ago. She said that because of her flashbacks with Diddy, she tried to commit suicide jumping into traffic. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Was it because the relationship he didn't want her, you tried to commit suicide, or was it because of the relationship itself? It could have been one, because remember, they also proved out she was really jealous of Kim Porter.
Yeah,
it was flashbacks.
You're right, appreciate it. They talked about that too. Yep. Oh yeah.
How her jealousy was, she had a real. She would tell him to go to Kim and stuff. So you know, when you talking about committing suicide, I seen him with other women. I saw, you know, playing out because he got you when you were 18, 19. You saw when you're in them type of circles, you play out quick.
Oh yeah.
There's so many other women coming younger than you. You 18, 19, you pick of the litter. You know, guys look, hey, they're still young. But now when you start hitting 37, 30, you know, 35, 30 something, it's 18, 19. You saw it, you were 18, 19. What made you think his taste changed?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, well, let's be honest. What, and I'm not justifying that he did. It's sad. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't have happened. But at the same time, this is my whole thing. If you were a victim, you got your money. You could have got your money and still filed charges then.
Yep.
You say, is this trial on TV? No, it can't be on TV because it's federal. It's against the law in federal court to have cameras. So you can't do that.
They need to change that law. Trump need to issue executive order just in one time.
It need to be public. But you know why? Most people on cases are who? So they didn't want their faces' identity shown.
All right.
Well, you get it drawings and some people got to remember what's said. You trying to jot it down as they going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I heard that they said one of the freak offs was 4 days long, but that's why it would be on the drug. That's why it had to be on the IVs. They would get. Try to rehydrate themselves. They would, you know, that alcohol would dry you out. That makes sense. But yeah, I mean, these people so far gone, and they're just a bunch of people with money that's bored. You know, they got to put all that makeup, put all this, you know, and they sound like they somebody else and all that stuff. Listen, I've been married for over 30 years. I ain't got to play now. We got to do it play naked. You ain't got to put on no wig. You ain't got to put on no birthday suit. Just give me what you got. Like Rick, give it to him, baby. But, you know, when they're on this money, I'm just saying, when people are in this in the world today, it really just shows you the culture of how they basically manipulated people to take on these sexual, these sexual. Now we're coming along. The most what happened in a relationship or sex or sex was not even popular when I was growing up. That was like, man, somebody who did that, that was like, you were done. That guy around that school, man, she had a blow pop in her mouth. I don't think you did. I'm just saying.
Even when I was growing up, it was nasty.
Yeah, you were done. Yeah, we're looking at, man, your bit, you were out, it was done. They get out, too many guys got on top of you. That get out, you were done. Man, if they said, man, we ran a train on her, listen. These were things you were done.
I have a girl, I have a high school that I went to. She's still single. Till today, she's still single because she was a little wild in my high school. And they would say there were rumors that they run a train on her, and so she's still single.
And she probably single by choice. She probably don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
them you need to do what all the rest of them do. Move to a different state.
Start over.
If you're a Christian and you do your life right, and you do born.
Y'all get how y'all born again. But yeah, they found out that blow pop in your mouth. You're not getting no kisses. You not, that's done. We come up, man, you were done, man. They're not be like that, man. You got that guy, man. She will had that blow pop in her mouth. You were done. Like now, it's like, man, bring it on. They don't care if you been. Then they get out, find out, man, she like having sex in her behind. They be like, huh? They be, oh, it's just stuff like if you couldn't do, back then, girls had to have a lot high. Even though women did doing it, had to be so private. They brought a lot. I ain't gonna say people then, but it was really private. A lot of things just were taboo you didn't do. Typically, like my generation come up, you would date white women, white girls, because you knew they were more prone to do that. So now coming on, you dated white women.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, when I'm coming on my age, anybody was born 6 to 8 up, they know. Yeah, you had to date. You just now. Oh no, now you doing upstate like New York? No, they get freaky. So that different like that. Seriously.
Yeah, they were wild.
I had a New York woman. Listen, I was a teenager. Blow my toes off. Let toes spread. Couldn't even put on no shoes. Yeah, so New Yorkers, man. Again, because so much was going on up there. So
yeah,
it wasn't like it wasn't a big thing. In the South, it was looked down on. Too many sex partners, woman doing all sex. A guy couldn't say he ate it. Man, they'd be like, what? So it was stuff it couldn't be public. People did it, but it was just more private. So it wasn't common where people like now you walk right up to, hey, give them a blow pop and just, I mean, girl, like, she'll say, yeah, if stuff you can't A, B, you couldn't say that to a woman. You had a fight on your hands. She cussed your mama one, who you touch, everything is true. Women call you OB, shut B, OB. Oh, so. Like, yeah, we don't hey, faggot, what's a hey punk Smith? We don't men don't do that. Like, man, that comes, but women will play like that. I mean, you have irregular conversations. I'm a bad B, I'm the B of the such, and then God, B that sweet. B, let me get some of that. This is common. They worst with us, it was the N-word. My nigga. For people that don't know, you need to understand the word. I think it's Neguse. And it's pronounced niggas. And the word is king or emperor. See, they took it from us, turned around and spent the definition, then we got dumbfounded. Like, I'm gonna bury it, don't bury the N-word. Because when we used it with one another, it was used in a way of attachment, connection. So it showed you, I'm telling you, white people watch you. Well, if you can pull the word up, you probably can say niggas. I think let them hear how it's pronounced. Neguse, I think it is. And you listen, and they said niggas, they have said it's not, it's actually niggas. Niggas. Can you put up with the definition? See, that's a different way I've seen it. I hadn't seen it in Negus. Ethiopian, and who's it? Oh, Ethiopia, they also spell it Neg, I think I thought it's, all right, let's see how they pronounce it. Niggas. Can you pull it up with to show the pronunciation? I want to hear them. Let them hear the pronunciation.
Give me a minute. Let me see if I can find a pronunciation. 1 second.
So a lot of time when we say stuff, we just don't know, and they talk us out of a lot of stuff. He said HBO After Dark. Now, I grew up now, Chavez. I don't know what your age is. You were late 40s, early 50s, maybe late 40s. So for me, we had Channel 69. It would come on late, Channel 36, late night at 11 o'clock. Man, it was boo, Chinese women. I'm there. There wasn't no sisters on there. It was the Chinese women. You know, like, man, I hear every word you saying. Watch it jiggle, see it wiggle. Channel 69. I think it was Channel 36 you'd have played at 11 o'clock. Shoot, man, I'll be up. Listen, that's when I woke. I was laying in bed looking. I was a little handy back then. I was a teenager.
What be your mama at?
Talking about I'm in the bed, TV in the room. That's why I tell them now, get them TVs out the room. Yeah, niggas.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just being honest with you. Unplug them. Get them. Look, let's say he got to pronounce. Let's see how they pronounce it.
Niggas.
Now, see, now think about this. So look at when white people called you nigger. We just look. You ready to fight something? You don't even know. Look what the definition of it is. Say, can they hear it again? Then you get
niggas.
Niggas. That is, look at all these niggas. Niggas. Now let's see the definition here. This is the title of the ruler of Ethiopia. So when we call each other niggas, that lets you know how much white people know about you. Let's bury the N-word.
Niggas.
These organizations that run around, a lot of them women run over. We gotta bury the word. We need to teach them the meaning of the word. Now you're teaching the meaning of the word when you say it, and you start to act like something versus thinking offensive, hatred, kill. I ain't no animal, I ain't no dog. They never call it. They call you niggas. They call you
niggas.
They see you are an emperor. So that lets you know when he got you how much he knew about you. The fact that he called you nigger, he put the nigger, because he can pronunciate niggas. We said, man, niggas be, so emperors be tripping. So really sad, we need to make sure that a man holds up his end of the part. I wouldn't call you niggas because you're not a ruler. You're not taking care of your kids. You're not the man of your home. You don't respect your wife. You're not making sure things are taken care of. You're not exemplifying it. So no, you're not a niggas. We need more niggas, emperors, rulers. We don't need clowns. We don't need buffoons. We don't need people running off. We don't need people with their pants hanging down. Channel 63 is the prayer channel. Yeah, I was praying back then. Praying that thing stay on longer. Channel 36. Oh, he said 45. Listen, I used to be 45. I'm telling you about them 40, Chavez. You finna be out of them things so fast you ain't even gonna remember. I don't even remember. I remember 40. I remember 49, 50. Man, I was in them 40. I thought the way I said, man, I'm 40. Man, I'm finna be 50. Now I'm looking at I'm finna be 60 in 3 more years. What in the world happened?
Wow.
I was in the 60s too. You know what I'm saying? What was in the 60s? That's that old Gerald cable. Yeah. Listen, man, I'm trying to tell you that thing's serious, man. Back then, regular TV played cable. You had cable on all them TV. They used to come on back then in the 80s when it first came out. Cable was $13 a month. You had on one TV, then you had to pay for the additional TV. So they'll run a special, say, listen, we'll put on all the other TV for like a month, 2 months, or 3 months. That thing go out, boy, you get that bill, he'll get, cut that junk off. In front of the TV. He said that bill, he lose it. $13 a month was a lot of money back then. But them were the good old days back then. Cable, you watch cable, man, you thought you were doing it. Then you find a movie, a good one, come on. That thing, you know, that thing coming on every time you look around. You like, man, they need to put another. Then another come. Like, okay, that's another one out there. Look, like that thing came back on, come back. You like, cable played out. Now that 5 stick is fire. It's fire. We have also we want to start back. Y'all remember we used to advertise people that had business and let people know about them. They want to support people that had. We do have some. They might put their contact information up. That do if you're interested in purchasing the Fire Stick with all the unlimited channels and everything on there. And I get to see international news, different news. Get to see other stuff move. They made available now. So there's someone that we know that does offer that if you're interested in getting it. I think there's a monthly fee with it, but it's a lot better than cable. And you got a lot more watching options. It's enough stuff to watch. You know, me, I'm basic. I watch certain movies, sex, no, ain't instant. All that profanity, I don't watch. I'm telling you why with the profanity. You have to start looking at, and sex, what you cultivate your mind with is the type of person you become. You have to, I realize a lot of like, I didn't realize I was set off on edge so easily because I don't do it to myself. So of course I wasn't aware of it. When you really start looking at conversation and what you watch plays a major part of behavior, you start kind of looking at it's just not conducive for what you're trying to do. That's how you live, that's what you want to do, that's fine, because that goes along with what you want to do. But if you're trying to live a life of tranquility, you're trying to look at success, your salvation, just all these things kind of intertwine. Then you start looking at a lot of things just not really productive for the road that you're traveling. So for me, I don't watch the sex stuff on. I'm not in the end of bed. They start humping. I turn on. I don't look at them. I don't want to be bought on. But they're not there. I'm not interested in that. I'll watch it for something key that I'm trying to see. But I see what they introduced us. If you watch, it's hard to get a movie that don't introduce sex.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is a part of commercials.
Yep.
Sex. Look at kids. I was over sex when I was. These kids past me.
Mm-hmm.
And technology, not experience. They listen. That little stuff these kids right here doing. These kids ain't nothing. They ain't doing nothing. They saying here they trying to experiment on both sides of the road. They just like
uses them.
Kids on the jury stand. I don't know who could convict him. He's in New York. Those people on that stand, what they gonna convict him for?
Who?
Y'all up north wild out. California, all that West Coast, they wild out. Look what she said. She was looking to do that with her husband.
That's what she said.
No, what she said, the stuff she doing.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's a comment that she made.
So it ain't a problem with she like, if you marry me, I'm good with let's do it. What about you with your husband? Why you having sex with somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm from the old school. When I was in the street, you ain't ask a man about his girlfriend. Let me tell you, we had codes and you don't even date my ex.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I got somebody that we far removed because it's gonna be questionable.
Mm-hmm.
What
Right.
you did when I was dating them.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
look at how stuff is. We're in a whole nother world. I mean, the woman is comfortable, and I believe this is me, my personal opinion.
Okay.
I think that homosexuality among men is promoted by women. And I think it's promoted more by women. If you look, women dominate the fact they dominate the market now, what? Entertainment, in the music industry, in corporations, in politics, because they have taught and convinced the man to get more feminine, which have reduced his drive for success. Okay. Oh, listen, let me tell you something. A man come tell her why he gay. She said, oh my goodness. She said, thank God. She said, I thought it was another woman. Your husband is having sex with a man. This should be a problem.
Well, that's hard.
And then goes, oh, you just against homosexuality. Retard, I'm against heterosexuality if you're going outside your relationship. That's retarded.
Mm.
And the fact that you're doing with another man is even more sicker. He just took me. Ron said one time, you asked no man about his girl back then. I'll knock your teeth out, buy you some, and not. That's true, man. You couldn't do that. It's stuff like you old enough to know that too. You ain't adding them. Hey man, let's run a train on your wife. Let's run a train on you. You didn't talk like that. That's somebody white. You got to. He say, this right here is a hitter. Now that you might do it on, but not your wife, your girlfriend. I mean, it was just, we came up with, in my time coming up, it was different. So today I understand, today everything goes. He can bring the homosexual love in there. Everybody, like, I was hearing some of the statements from her. It was reading, I was looking at it on a video. They were saying that she was like, he wanted her to catch the semen because she would get it out of her vagina and go in the other one and rub it in his nipples.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh,
crazy.
Yes, man. All I can do is trying to keep from throwing up. I just, you know, and the reason why, and this is the thing was bad when they publicized this. I'm just telling you why it's bad too. It's people that still look up to them that will attempt these. How y'all think we got into freaky stuff? People out here, it was from watching the drugs. The only way to get people to buy into the sexuality, to buy into the drugs and the drinking, is to use celebrities, sports figures. Okay, look, why you don't have a no-name person doing commercial for liquor and beer? You always use entertainment. Look at all these entertainment. Look at all of them have a liquor brand. Liquor drinking is kind of playing out for a lot of people because it smells. It's a downer. When you first start drinking liquor, you going, but alcohol is a downer. It's a depressant. Why you think a lot of people they kids are alcohol? So now people look at they're trying to get up. That's why the fentanyl, that's why the other stuff is more popular, because it keeps you up. When you get drunk, what you do? You get sleepy. Your cognitive level drops. So a lot of people look at, no, I'm trying to stay up. I'm trying to stay going. So now you're pushing the uppers. So the downers is dropping. So now what they do? They had to go get these people, Sean Diddy Combs, Sherrod. They got to go they went and got all these rappers got alcohol. Because they gotta still push it. They looking at, listen, all of these people competing. Cigarettes are losing money to who? Vape pens.
Yeah.
A lot of these personalities that do content, they're starting to look like the guy No Jumper. He used to have a box right there with the rolling paper, cigarette up, with rolling paper, then they rolling weed up on the show because these people help push them. They push and promote a behavior. Let me tell you something. You have to be able to consciously watch people without being affected or being affected by what they're doing. The problem comes with people today. What we watch, we become. You have to learn how to exert yourself out of what you're watching and don't become. Like you watch a monster on TV, before you know it, you become a person that become destructive. You start to take on some of the traits. You have to be real mindful about what you listen. The easiest way to take a person down the track is through the eyes and through the ears. The easy way to kill. Information. Why you think they put it at your fingertip? Years ago, you want to know something, you had to read a book. If you want to know, read a book.
That's right.
You go straight to what you want right now. Type it in, it'll get right to the source. So every day, look at video. What's the hottest video? Shorts. Because they burn people's attention span. They try to educate people on doing right. Let me tell you something. How long does it take to educate a person on doing right? Can you do that in a short? So now guess what I did? I hampered your attention span. So you can't get it. You won't pay attention long enough. You'll fizzle out. You're looking for shorts. He said, hold on, let me see what he said on my bishop. He write all of them. Jay-Z, 50, that's right. Rock, Rick Ross, Diddy, you name it. All you got to get is Shannon Sharp. Look at they get all them guys alcohol. Because you're going to sell it to, you're going to push the what color people. White people don't look at those guys. Nobody white look at these guys and say, let me get that alcohol because they got it. People who look at them are going to be people that look like us, who are going to be people that are going to go get drunk, who are going to put money in their pocket, but the liquor industry, they're going to really profit. If I make you a billionaire, just ask yourself, how much money you think I have? 2 billion? I have hundreds of billions. I'm working on trillions off of you because I'm getting you I'm getting you to dumb down and damage of people who don't know what their real net worth is and don't look at how much money they waste and they pay for their own destruction.
Right.
But that's
true. I see Confederate 48 out there in the comment section. What up? Tula, if you get a chance, send him the link. He wants the link.
I didn't want to
share with y'all
that?
Another clip too as well. Get y'all opinion about this. This is the latest update in regards to the Carmelo Anthony story. That is the kid that happened the track incident. As y'all know, he did make bond. The issue, there was a big stir up about him, whether or not they will allow him to graduate from school since he's eligible to graduate. Here's the latest update in regards to that verdict. Let's take a quick look.
controversy, criticism, and a father now demanding answers. CBS Texas learned last night that Carmelo Anthony is the Frisco High School student accused in the deadly stabbing of Austin Metcalf. Well, Metcalf's father now wants to confront the district superintendent about this decision. Our JD Miles was the only local reporter there. He brings us the story tonight.
He says he just wants answers, but when Jeff Metcalf arrived at Frisco ISD's administration building, this is what he got.
Hi there, can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to come in and speak to someone, please.
I'm sorry, we're not allowed to let anyone in without an appointment.
The father of Austin Metcalf wanted to hear directly from Frisco ISD Superintendent Mike Waldrop what he heard from media reports on Tuesday. Those reports are that Carmelo Anthony will get his diploma later this month, despite being under house arrest and charged with murdering Metcalf's son, Austin.
I've been stonewalled, said, I understand the protocol. They said I have to make an appointment, which I did.
It was 6 weeks ago today when what authorities describe as an altercation between Austin and Carmelo led to one 17-year-old pulling a knife and stabbing the other 17-year-old in the chest at a track meet inside a Frisco ISD stadium. Anthony's parents, who was just defending himself, asked Frisco ISD to allow him to get his high school diploma. Sources say an agreement was reached that would allow that.
So I'm just curious on how they arrived at it when I read their own policy manual about what it states for mandatory expulsion and also graduation.
In a statement to CBS News Texas, a representative for the Anthony family tells us, "We cannot and will not speak about the agreement made with Frisco ISD that remains confidential and legally protected. However, it is truly a shame that anyone would go so far as to threaten the graduation ceremony or try to ruin a day that should be filled with joy, pride, and accomplishment for so many students and their families." Frisco ISD superintendent posted a message on social media last night, making it clear that Anthony will not be allowed to attend a graduation ceremony. No student who commits a serious criminal offense is permitted to participate in the graduation ceremony. But sources say Anthony's GPA was high enough to withstand missing the last month of school and still meet the requirements for a diploma. The school district tells CBS News Texas, if the student is expelled, they may continue their education through the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program. In cases where a student has completed all graduation requirements and is facing expulsion, Frisco ISD typically gives the option of early graduation instead of placement at JJAEP. The controversy has resulted in a new online petition to award Metcalf an honorary diploma next year when he would have graduated along with his twin brother.
The fact of the matter is it's not going to bring my son back. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but in the long run, my son doesn't get a diploma. So there's part of me that says maybe Mr. Anthony shouldn't get one either.
In Frisco, JD Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Like one of our viewers was saying, it's unfortunate that he feels that way, and I mean he has a right to. He lost a son, regardless. They could have turned around the other way, where his son could have been the killer of that young man, and he would have wanted, justice, sympathy, empathy on his end. And it's unfortunate that we don't talk to our young people. And it's when I say our fault, I include me. I put me in the front of it. Being able to talk to get our young people, and we need to learn how to do it. What we're trying to teach them, we need to learn how to do it. How do we have discussions without being violently disagreeable? How do we come to a consensus where there's a mutual respect for disagreement without the slander, without the hurt of, without the loss of life of, without the murdering of, the injury of. We got, and then sometimes it's just going to happen, but the occurrences are just too frequent for us not to start addressing. It starts with it. We can talk about the kids. Let's just be honest. The kids are a product of us. Until we learn how to sit down and reasonably conversate with one another, come to a consent. We're to a point we just agree to we don't agree. Yeah. But you ain't got to be a punk, a faggot, or I don't have to be one. We just don't agree. Yeah. And we can respect one another enough that, hey, we keep going and realize this is life. everyone will never see things the way you see it. That's what makes the world goes around. Because we all say, like, there are countries where they have no problem with older men marrying kids at a young age. Here, we have a protocol that's a minor. You're too old. The mental capacity, the time you live, it kind of dampens the situation, and you put a person at disadvantage. So here now, it's frowned upon, and legally on some ends if you're not at least 18. But with some countries, hey, age ain't nothing but a number, like a little thing. Getting down ain't nothing but a thing. So you put out a bad man, and they use you to sell that notion. Look how it took off. She sold a song of an older man with a minor, saying age is just a number. If you're sexually attracted, don't let a number. If you see a 3-year-old, you sexually attracted, that's an age. That's sick.
That's sick.
So what you ask yourself? At what point do your song say not that age? So there has to be what separates us from animals. We have a lot of the same equipment as animals. Women have breasts, so do the female animals. Women have vaginas, so do the female, and the men have, penises, genital area. So we have a lot. We eat, some of them, like the gorilla, they have fingers almost like people. But what separates us from these mammals is the fact of our intelligence and our codes and ethics and rules. That's basically it. And when you don't know how to operate as a human being, to realize that's animalistic. This is animalistic. Even in a pride of Ari and Ariel, what they call a male lion, they don't. The female lions don't sleep with all the male lions. She don't sleep with the one. In order to get her to sleep with another one, that one has to be dead or gone, never coming back. He will not sleep with another one while he's not, and he's going to kill the cubs. So you can see even the animals, they look at this makes no sense, although it's 4 males in a pride. They know all 40 males not sleeping with no same female. They know we don't do that. So how do animals get more intelligent than us? That's got a point shaking my head. It's a lot of stuff that we do, we should be doing as people, but that's just it. Nobody's willing to step up and say it's wrong. So I said academics had nothing to do with the incident. But I guess they look at it's just bad, man, when you're a kid that your life is put to that. So we came along, he'd have had to fight. You just gotta fight. You fight him and the brother, and somebody who see it race, they jump in, hey man, what y'all doing? But he did, and you're never gonna win that. You're not gonna win that argument in America. He's never gonna win that. Anyway, so the school, they're going to give him a diploma. He's not going to get to March. Right. I don't know why he should get his diploma. He should get his diploma. I think let him march would be a little much because of the fact of all the publicity, the people will be there, yelling and screaming, and it'll mess up everybody else.
It would.
Get him a diploma.
It would.
He's out. He can go ahead and register for college and go on until he go to court, because right now he hasn't been found guilty. So when they say what he should do, right now he hasn't been found guilty. He's only been charged. So he needs to get his dad had nothing to do with his diploma. Give him his diploma. That don't get him a job. That don't make him a future. He being wherever he was going to college, it was accepting him. And a lot of colleges, he was going to some real Ivy League. No Ivy League school gonna take him. No, they're not taking you. Can't why? No, that's not happening. I don't care what your grade level is. You're not coming to Ivy League. So he can go to some other colleges and still get a degree and kind of keep moving until he'll need that, because when he go to court, he needs to show I've graduated. Also, on top of that, I'm also in college. That will play a major part for him. But not to have gotten that diploma, and not the attorneys know what they're doing, because they're gonna be able to push. First of all, he's a high school dropout. That's going to hurt. What is a high school dropout going to do that's already murdered another high school kid?
His grades were so good. Even him missing a month did not affect his graduation. That is, I know the fact that he was such a good student does not, but to me it speaks, I don't know. I always wonder what really was happening in this kid's mind, because he seems to be a smart kid. He seems to be he achieved a lot of things during
He was the coach. He was the head of the track team, so you know he had to be fast.
Yeah. Good character of a kid. I mean, nothing tells me that this kid was a quote unquote bad kid. So I always wonder, like, what was happening, like what happened in his mind at that moment that he felt like he needed to do this, you know?
I mean,
Confederate 48, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
Man, greetings.
Greetings. I was trying to listen in on what Resident Joe, Dr. Joe was saying before I just started to greet you all. My typical salutations. But since y'all have me up front, want to say up top to Commissioner Dr. Tooley, to the Honorable Tony Ra Smith, to the one and only Love Doctor, last but never least, Resident Dr. Joe. This is your neighbor, Confederate State 48, saying hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscription, and hit the cash out.
Hit the cash out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's the real tip. That's it. Hit that cash out.
This really in-depth interesting topics on the night, as was last week. As you know, it's obvious I wasn't there last week, but in light of two things I want to kind of touch on real quick. One being the Carmelo Anthony incident. I believe, like Resident Joe had asked the question, and it's just my assessment of what I can probably come up with as an opinion, is that the young man Anthony, he like so many other people of his ethnicity has experienced trauma. Because us as being African American, or so-called the Negro, we've experienced so much trauma over the years. And then being in a state called Texas, I happen to have lived in Texas some years ago, and Texas is not one of those states as to where they're very, very diverse when it comes to people of color. There's a lot of racial undertones in the states, and I'm not trying to justify that's why he done what he done, but when you got to look at it, when a black kid looks at the news, he see another kid getting gunned down, he see the police beating up on him, he sees all these things as to where he's always exposed to violence, you know what I mean, and seeing adult black males being, gunned down, shot in the back, and in light of the, in the wake of the George Floyd, which we don't talk about too much, Ahmaud Arbery and Trayvon Martin, and these are people of his peers, you know what I'm saying? And all these people died at the hands of their counterparts, you know what I mean? And so for him to come to the school with a knife, there was something that drove him to that. I don't believe that he was a kid that just took a knife to school every day, unless he lived in an environment or a community as to where he was, you know what I'm saying, subjected to violence, which I think he probably lived in probably a moderate middle class neighborhood. I don't know a lot about his background, but I don't believe that there was any type of necessity for him to have, a weapon until he felt as though his life was threatened. And they tried to compare that to the young man that took the assault rifles across state lines with the help of his parents, and he went and killed 3 people, and he was exonerated. So I forget the young man's name in Milwaukee.
I know you're talking about. We know you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So when he done what he done, obviously he didn't act out as a criminal. He didn't have any criminal undertones as to hiding the knife, and from what I heard, he stabbed the guy and then he ran. He didn't just he didn't do these things like a criminal. He didn't have a criminal behavior pattern as to why he done what he done. And for him to be able to graduate, yes, he should be able to graduate. Should he go and graduate with his class on the stage, he should have that right. But I think just due to all the, like you said, the exposure to what happened, it wouldn't be good for the school in general, because they'll probably have booster clubs or something like that, and the parents, that are, you know, that don't agree with what happened, they'll probably withdraw their support to the school and things of that nature. So, but you know, we have to really
blow it up. Yeah, I remember that Texas. You got a lot of white people ain't liking it.
correct.
They're looking at, hey, he shouldn't be able to come. It's on to come. Look, I shoot it up. So that's
Right.
scary. You know, people have that mindset with our kids.
You know, and then last but not least, he should be able to graduate, and then you know we have to exercise proven innocent until proven guilty. We have you know we have to stand on that. But then at the same time, should he have to live in fear, backlash because he was merely trying to protect himself? And that's my thoughts on that.
We definitely appreciate that. For
Good to
me,
see you. Yes, sir.
I think that he shouldn't graduate like March, graduate beginning of the diploma. And the reason why is for his safety, for the safety of the other kids, you know. And it's argument, and some will say, hey man, he still should graduate, it's fine. But you'll bring more confusion than you'll bring help, and you'll only make
Absolutely would.
And I mean, without a doubt, I'm sure they'll do something to him because they'll feel like it sets a precedent that they set for us. They kill and shoot us, and they still can show up, and we don't, you know, we accept it. But when we are the victims, I mean, you know, when we're the person, they feel like the aggressor when he was being attacked. It was two brothers from understanding, allegedly both brothers. Because who won? What the parents taught? Your brother fight, you better help.
That's
so
right.
Both these boys were over 200 pounds. He was only like 150 something. So this guy, yeah, he's fighting on another over 100 pounds, and it's two. So I'm sure when they look, they didn't just give him a bond and let him out for no reason. They're not giving him his diploma for no reason. It's because they need it for him to go to court, but they know these white people are not, and that's what bad. And people of color, we have to accept whatever you do. You do it. We always got to be the non-violent peacekeeper, forgiver, but you never demonstrate. And please again, this is not every white person. It's just the point. What you always look from us, we never get from you.
Right.
You know, just like with Trump on another end, but similar. Trump gone and they was 230 pounds, 6'1", 6'2".
Wow.
He was like 150.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're looking at both brothers. And one Caucasian girl, I sent her video out before. And I had her playing. I know she was going off. She was going off on, you know, Caucasian people tell me. She said, y'all just got the old way of doing stuff. Everybody knew that him and his brothers were bullies. This her talking. Man, yeah, she would listen. She would call them out, wife. She called them out. Y'all wrong. And you try to make us racist because you still got it in you. A lot of young people ain't into their racist stuff. They do. You don't even know what to be racist about. What do you hate black people for? You hate them because you heard your parents say. That's one thing my kids can. I never taught my kids sideways, calling white folks crackers, and you can't trust crackers and crack. I didn't teach my kids that. I said a lot of things. Like I just never taught them to distrust whites or mistreat people because they color, because nobody controlled their color. And when I grew up, my parents never taught it to me. My dad felt like don't trust them or whatever, but I mean that was his opinion. He didn't go and tell me, beat me. You know, don't do it or whatever. I mean, I'm my own person. A lot of things you have to learn and see for yourself as well. I think you give a person a fair chance to prove themselves until shown differently. When you show different, then you'll be treated as such.
I want to touch on that last segment that you all talked about with the Diddy situation. He was bringing out a lot of major points that I can identify with back in the era when he was, you know, prior to being married and, you know, and everything like that with dating. You know, I think a lot of the culture that we learned, the sexual behaviors that we kind of learned along the way, certain things, like you said, they was off limits. You didn't go out, sleep around with like certain people were off limits, like sisters of your friends. You couldn't like dating somebody after they did and sharing partners and all that stuff like that. And then I started thinking about what they would call the music back in those days. When a black guy was seen with a white girl, you kind of already knew as to what that was about, what he had her for, and then you were picked on too to a certain degree because you had jungle fever. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that Jungle Fever.
Remember that? They say, man, you got you a white girl, Snow Bunny, man. You got jungle fever, so you were kind of high, you know. But then until it started becoming hip and cool, you know, you wasn't supposed to be seen with a white girl because you kind of knew what she would do what the girl from the neighborhood wouldn't do, stuff like that. And then you know the MTV era age, we didn't even have music that promoted sexual promiscuity like they did, like MTV with you know, like the Sex Pistols and all these other groups that, you know,
Cyndi Lauper, what that little bit of old thing girls want to have.
And then who was the other one? What the guy name? What the man used to AC/DC? What the other one? The guy
Beavis and Butthead?
No, no, he's no, it's an artist. He what's his name?
Sorry,
Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne. That's what I was thinking about. You know, they was known for like eating live animals on stage and just going, you know, pushing things to the limit. And we found that kind of strange, you know. But then I believe when you really start hearing about black people kind of doing things in terms of like sharing partners and stuff, it was OPP. Remember OPP?
Yeah, you remember me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I ain't too proud to beg. Then all this stuff started spiraling out of control. But we didn't have music that promoted doing things like sharing your partner and going out and doing that. We just didn't have it. I mean, you can look about all the raps. You didn't have that you didn't have it. But you had it like in the punk rock scene, in the heavy metal scene. But
it was always into it.
Yeah, but it's interesting to know that how far we have come as a society. We've gone like I say, we become animalistic, carnivorous, if you will, because now you got songs like Truffle Butter. I mean, come on, and then you had to look that up. Like, man, are these people actually doing this kind of stuff? Like, are you serious? And I'm like, the girl Nicki Minaj, I think, made this. I'm like, and then my girls at the time, they were like preteens, and they had a song called Bottoms Up, and they was just singing it. And I'm like, what? And I went and searched the lyrics to that, and me and my wife were like, hey, we don't, no, we not, no, because it was seen that it's you just saying something, but it has a subliminal meaning behind it, and kids are reciting this stuff, and we know that they have those evil Russian connotations to it, and they begin to start manifesting stuff, behaviors in our young people. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot to try to unpackage all of that. It's a lot. But interesting show tonight. I mean, goodness gracious, y'all picked some great topics tonight. I missed y'all, as y'all already know. I heard that y'all had an earthquake in Atlanta. Is that true?
They said it did.
I didn't feel it.
These folks claim they be here. A lot of these folks here, they don't know what a lot of
them just telling me today that she felt it.
Who said that?
What's the neighbor? Your neighbor with that lion dog. Wow.
Wow.
Your neighbor ain't told no lies. And I thought, neighbor tell a lie like everybody else will. I don't know. These guys, they claim I was sleeping.
I'm a light sleeper, and it didn't wake me up, so I didn't feel it.
But that's kind of you know, that's kind of like really, really like an anomaly, because you wouldn't typically hear about even the mention of an earthquake in Atlanta, but it goes to show you where we are as a society and how this thing winding up. Like when you start hearing earthquakes, you know, in diverse places, you know where your mind goes to. But even if you felt it or not, if it was something that happened and it went undetected, then therefore we know where we at. You know, we got a timestamp as where we at as a society.
And they missing it. That's the sad part. They're not paying attention to looking at the reality of. That's where we at.
All these distractions.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's where we at now. Between the earthquakes, between diseases, between the wars, between the economy, and they keep trying to convince people it's gonna get better. It's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse. He told you evil men and seducers are gonna wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. they're deceiving us. I mean, through AI intelligence. Look out, you can't trust nobody. I had a bill collector call me from a hospital bill I got from this Bio Labs, and they call me by the money. They're like, "Can you verify yourself?" I said, "You verify yourself." They're like, "Well, I said, what?" They're like,
No, that's right.
Let me tell you something. I don't know you. I'm not verifying that. Can you give me last for yourself? And the answer again is no. I'm not giving you nothing because I don't know you.
That's right.
Okay, well, call back. That ain't gonna do it. If I don't know you, why I'm gonna call you back? That's why I hit man. You get these calls all the time. Hey, how are you now? Hey, we still on for dinner later on. All that food's like no. I had one lady hit me telling me, "It is Smith." Yeah, I'm like, where I know you from? I think I know. I said, don't worry about it. Somebody from me something like 5 months ago. I'm like, well, I think I pretty much let them know. If we ain't talked in 5 months, it ain't important for us to talk. People like we have. And we don't. If we've been able to go 5 months without talking to each other, I suggest we continue.
Wow. You know, there's something interesting that happened here. There was a man that was murdered, right? And he got sentenced like a few days ago. And what they did as a character witness statement, I want y'all to check this out. And y'all probably heard about it. So what they did, the deceased man's sister, right? She got in touch with a company that made an AI of her dead brother that was killed to give a witness impact statement through AI.
Oh yeah, they did that. Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Can you pull that up? Can you pull that up, Lil Doctor? You hear what he's saying?
More descriptive. Try to use more descriptive words that I can type into Google to help me find it.
Okay, I'm about to try to look for it.
It could be something like AI assist in witness impact statement. Phoenix, Arizona, probably something like that. But yeah, I was amazed just to know that they got people speaking beyond the grave. Like,
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Also, I tell you, man, I don't know if you can see it. This is a almond. I don't eat almonds. I put them back now.
there it is, right there. The guy right down top, 243.
All right.
Speaking of almonds, I just found out almonds are good with magnesium.
Wales has plenty to remember her little brother by,
This is his dress uniform,
but she'd trade it all to have Chris Pelkey back.
trying to make this come to life and to lift him off the page in the best way that we could that's available to us now.
Pelkey survived multiple overseas tours in the military, but back home in November of 2021, he was leaving a church softball game when he was killed in a road rage shooting at Germain and Gilbert Roads in Chandler. His family endured a grueling legal process, 2 trials over 3.5 years. Last week, Gabriel Horcasitas was convicted of manslaughter. Before sentencing, 49 victim statements were shared. Stacy spent 2 years working on hers.
All I kept coming back to was, what would Chris say?
Fair use,
As a
YouTube.
tech-forward family, Stacy and her
Fair
husband
use,
Tim
fair
work
use, YouTube.
regularly with artificial intelligence. So Stacy suggested letting AI generate a victim statement directly from the victim through modern tech beyond the grave.
It became so real that I broke down in tears.
Tim prompted AI with old video, audio, and a good photo of their brother. It took a few days. Their victim rights attorney, Jessica Gattuso, was reluctant at first. Is this even legal?
Our law in Arizona says that victims can give their victim impact statement they have the discretion to choose how they give their victim impact statement. And this is how they chose to do so. So yes, it's absolutely legal.
Here's Chris in a real recording before his death.
Just like Jesus says, love God and love people.
And here's the AI version forgiving the shooter, scripted by Stacy.
It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
I love that AI. Thank you for that.
The state asked for 9.5 years. The judge gave 10.5 for manslaughter. We asked the Arizona Supreme Court about the general use of AI in courtrooms. Justice Ann Scott Timmer said AI has great potential, but also risks if misused. For the Pelkey family, they found justice and a measure of peace, especially after one of Stacy's children reacted to seeing Uncle Chris one more time.
Mom and Dad, thank you so much for making that. I needed to hear from Uncle Chris one last time.
That wasn't your
And
uncle.
that meant so much. Thank you. And that is not what this was intended to do, but the result of having it be a healing piece for anybody who saw it was just such a beneficial result.
What do y'all think about that?
I don't think it was bad because it wasn't used to anything. It was actually used in a way to where it was saying, hey, forgive, he forgive.
Right.
How it could have been done differently before. It's AI, but it looks as though it's coming from him. But the judge said he appreciated it, but I still gave you 10 years. I gave you more than what they asked for. I guess he just looking at the fact that how it happened and what went down, and to him, justice would have been you doing these, doing the 10 years instead of 9.5. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I guess people when people are hurting to lose a loved one, I think people just need what they need. Part of people dying is that part of your life you kind of let go, and you make room for other things and other encounters in life. It's just like your memory. Like you got a computer. When you get too much memory, what you have to do, you have to go and delete some things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to death. And like at some point in your life, it's just people, things you have to delete. You have to move on with your life with other things. Nobody wants to do it, but life is just that. It's the greatest thing when things are working, when your health is good, when you don't have problems. When you got problems and you got things going on, it's like, man, this is a terrible life. But that's the give and take of life, is learning to appreciate the up and down the sagas. They make you appreciate those key moments. You say, you know what? Today is a good,
right?
And it does, unfortunately, and it's heartbreaking. Nobody wants to lose anybody, but then you would really appreciate the real value of life, the fact that everybody doesn't have it, or even a good quality of it. You see people homeless, you thinking, how did they get there? They thinking, how did I get here? But things happen. This is life. It makes you appreciate. For me, I always thank him day and night for health and strength, for shelter, for the food, things we took for granted. I always say it's people in other countries starving. It's people on my street. It's not on my street. I'm sorry, not on my street. Up the street.
Ain't nobody on your street. Yeah,
It's people that's starving. It's people that's hungry. It is. I mean, it ain't far. You ain't got to go to Ethiopia, Somalia. It's right here.
It's right here. Absolutely.
Homeless, right? You got to go downtown. You see homeless people. I never in my life, when I grew up, you'll see a homeless person maybe on the street, in the park. I never seen them living in the bushes and trees. I mean, we have families. We have families living in the woods. And ticks, flies, fleas, maggots, bees,
mosquitoes,
everything, spiders, mosquitoes, snakes. But these people looking at, man, they gotta live. And they gotta get outside of outside from here, and like, let me get here where I can safely put my family. So what they using for washing? We talking about kids. And it bothers me that while we fighting for so many different things, we okay with the human man and child. Usually children will off limit. You raise so much money for kids. We'll let the kids live in the woods. We have just lost our care and decency.
Yep.
We lost empathy for one another. It don't take $1 million to one person give me a few of us the money we waste. Like, it's safer and better to have them somewhere sheltered than on the street for us. Whenever you put a person, they gotta live off the street and in the woods. You got a person with kids. You got a person that'll go violent anytime because they gotta survive. They're gonna survive one way or another. They're not gonna lay down and die. They're gonna survive. Survivors say, take, do whatever you got to do. Oh man, you don't go to jail. Well, you don't understand. For me, that's a hotel. When you're home. He said, living inside a U-Haul truck. People living wherever inside a car.
Right.
You got whole family inside
living in storage units.
Yeah, I mean, people doing what they got to do. Yeah, they making those home. They going, they got the light. People are going in there, staying at the door. They're like, hey, I pay my money. That's been a thing for a while. I mean, we had somebody with that staying in their storage unit years ago. They're like, y'all just stand. They were standing. I gotta start like can't stand no stuff. They're like, that is the new thing. People getting storage units.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than this. And put them a bed in there, get a bucket, get some white. They go get a gym membership. You can take a shower with
$10 a month. Better than rent.
How much you saying? Now those things what $200, $300 a month. That's like.
No, I'm talking about the gym.
Oh yeah, you can get some. Yeah, to get that. I don't know LA what that 24-hour.
They're Planet Fitness.
Yeah, but for 20 that kind of money, you probably get to watch one cheek. You don't get both of them watched. I know they're gonna let you.
Yeah, a
buy
lot of
both.
people are doing that. They live in their cars and then they go take a shower in the gym.
Yeah.
Go to
Man.
watch house clean. I mean, people have to do what they got to do to survive.
Yeah.
We're living in that time. Get you a mattress, get your stuff, put it inside the store, and that's something. And I mean, we're here, and people don't care. People don't look at, wow, how do we get here as human beings? We so busy, so much technology, so much business deals, so much money being spent and raised. Yet we letting people, human beings, live in the woods, on the street, in inside of cars and inside of storage units. We just got our values off.
Really bad. We so disconnected within one another. It was another. It's on a lighter note. About Donald Trump and receiving this. Well, attempting to receive the that plane from Qatar. There's a lot of different. Just a lot of different. Views as to why that's so wrong to do. I mean, how could they take something? How could he take something from a foreign nation and it's against it's in the Constitution as a president. He's not able to do those things to take and I'm like, why?
They take gifts. It's just the amount of how much it is that really is the problem. So I think that's nobody's never given a world leader a $400 million gift.
Right, but I mean, wouldn't that they could put a bug in it? Wouldn't that do something with national security?
They would do that. One thing about it, that believe me, the plane will not be taken without that. We don't take stuff that they're not going to. You talking about as Air Force One? The Air Force One is worked on every time it moves. Like it can fly from here to it can fly from Atlanta to Tennessee. When it hits the ground, they're going through the entire plane. They're going through the wire. They're going through the engine. They're going through everything. The plane don't leave the ground without it completely being gone through. So if they take that plane, if it did go through and they had it as Air Force One, I assure you, you ain't got to worry about no bugs or nothing else. They're going, that plane is, and it has to be washed every time before it flies. Yeah, it don't just, you can't just fly. When it lands, it's got to be it's got to be clean. It's got to go through, you got to go through everything. Every component, you got to go through it before it goes in the air.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they care about people would do the same thing in the regular plane.
Right. And just the what gets me is this, because okay, this was a $450 million jet.
400.
I mean, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion, other than the fact of it almost kind of seems like a bribe, or you getting what you're giving this in return for what? You know what I mean?
To make Gaza state, to lift the sanctions off of Syria. There's a lot of things he's doing. He went straight on that. He told me he's gonna lift the ban off of Syria. It's worth that plane. So they're looking at what they're gonna get from Syria, stopping Israel from invading, taking more of it, not letting Gaza become a state, not letting Israel take it over. So there's some things in works. You don't get away with $400 million plane for nothing.
Right. No. So with that being said, what about the treaty or the agreement that United States has with Netanyahu? How is that going to work out in terms of them being an ally with the United States?
We're the biggest ally supporter, but you got to remember they were put there by England. Right. So actually, the biggest, that's how they got there, was through England. That's how all that whole mess. People don't even know that. They don't even know how they got up. Yeah, they got there because of England put them there. England put that whole little disaster together and put them over here. Now everybody's fighting over land over here because people like they invaded. They don't know where they go. They don't fit. So when you don't fit, you get the anarchy and the chaos that you have now. And Trump is looking at like anybody else. Netanyahu looking at for his interests, and he burned him. He burned him on a lot of ends, and he's looking at. And if you know they're not talking, he's over there, but he ain't go see him.
Right.
Yeah, he's talking with the Saudis, he's talking with them, and he got his plane because he done made deals with them. And then y'all gonna find out he's gonna have to make a deal with those people in Gaza.
Okay, because the reason I was asking that because prior to this, Trump had made a statement about turning the Gaza Strip to the French River, the river. What do you call it? The French River?
He said it's gonna be massive. It's gonna be beautiful. They talk, but see, Turkey said it. Turkey told him he's ignoring him because he's talking nonsense. He said that's never going to happen. All the people that told him already, it's never going to happen. They wasn't letting it happen. Nobody was letting it happen.
Right.
They were like, he's just running his mouth talking. It's not going to happen. The Saudis and all these people came up with a plan, appease him because he likes money. He'll back off and he'll leave them out there. Chavez said, cutting Section 8, I support it. Only the eldest, severely disabled should be on it long term. I agree. And a lot of things. I'm telling you on that myself. Believe it or not, the person that receives more welfare benefits than anybody is the white woman. If you look it up, she is the leader. She is the number one leader of welfare Section 8. They just don't publicize it and show it to people. They made Section 8 when they came up with welfare. People of color, we were still in segregation. Welfare was never set up for it. It was because whites were struggling. Whites couldn't make it, so they gave them. They came up with these Section 8. They gave that to whites. When they gave it to black people, it was because they knew monkey see, monkey do. It became the crippler of us. They became our handlers. We were more self-sufficient before we got any government aid, any welfare Section 8. We made it work. A lot of kids were born at home. Like in my family, my mom's side, out of her sisters and brothers, I think I was the third one born in the hospital for the male. Yeah, for the males. My cousins were born at home.
Wow.
So out of males, yeah, I think I was like number 3. Yeah, most of my cousins were born at home. And they weren't doing circumcision like that. I came there doing circumcision. Yeah, they weren't. Boys were born, they was at home. I mean, midwives didn't circumcise.
Man,
So,
you know that? Wow.
Yeah, 6 days. I was like the third one, I want to say. He said, keep them legs closed, stop. What's that? Procreating with Pookie and 1-2 Billy Ball. That's the truth. I like that bishop. Look at my bishop.
Procreating with Pookie.
What's that right? What's that say? Housing assistance.
Approximately 49% of residents. That's right. Look at that. I believe those numbers are wrong. I believe it's more than 49%.
See that? Oh, it's definitely about 33% are Black African American. That's right. 13% are Hispanic. Overall housing choice vouchers. They know it's going to hurt them more than hurt us.
But let's be real. Okay, listen to this. If that's the case, right? What about the redlining of the so-called Negro and gentrification? That can't be accurate.
When you put us, you show us off to look like you can make things look the way you want it, just like they do in court. It's like an attorney. You can make a person look a certain way. All I gotta do is ask you certain questions that don't allow you to ask other questions. So it will lead people to believe that you are a certain type of way based off of the questioning, and based off the way you had to answer. You might say, "I want to explain. I'm going to ask you for answer. I need you to answer the question yes or no." Your Honor, will you instruct the defendant to answer the question? And that's all they're going to tell you. You need to answer the process. You need to answer the attorney. So now it leaves you open to look like us. That's the whole point with court. Like that girl Ventura. She's going to look the way the prosecutor wanted her to look as a pregnant victim. And the reason why they put her on that pregnant is to make her, when they look at her, they're picturing him urinating in her mouth. All the guy has to know she's pregnant. They're watching her discomfort from the pregnancy. All this is pre-planned. You think you sitting there, 8 months pregnant, she's squirming in that chair, she's uncomfortable, she's hot, she flustered. Then the question, so they're looking at it's Diddy. It's not Diddy, she's pregnant. It's the question, and when the cross-examiners come, they're going to make her look like willing participant whore. Do not buy this baby pregnant stuff, innocent new mom. Look at her, what she is. She asked for the free call. She would do anything to be with him. She was a hanger-on. She was not there. She was there voluntarily. We had the incidents at the hotel. But after that, she still stayed. Did you ever have opportunity that you left? Did he ever leave home and leave you there? Yes, yeah. Well, you could have left.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, okay. One of y'all can answer this because I haven't been up too much up on it, up to speed. So I recall prior to the trial, right? Prior to Diddy being arrested, I thought that Miss Ventura, she had settled out of court a
She did.
lawsuit. So
Wanna make-
how can any of this be admissible in court if she settled and made him give a public apology statement as a part of the settlement? So I don't really understand this. How can they convict him on something that has nothing to do with sex trafficking unless
Well-
they come up with the tapes and the evidence?
Because you got to remember something. This whole case is not about him innocent or guilty. It was about them breaking him. Once he cut his throat by going after Ciroc, they'll show you why you're going to pay.
Ciroc Liquor? Okay.
Yep. He was a
Yeah.
Ciroc Liquor, and that's when his world fell down.
Sure
So
did.
you're going to learn is certain things you don't say, certain things you don't do, they make you pay. So he decided to open his mouth against Ciroc. He went down there to see the stuff himself, to see that they were actually growing avocados for George Clooney's liquor.
Yeah.
George Clooney had a liquor. His
Yeah.
liquor, Ciroc bought his liquor for $400 million. So they started pushing his liquor. So Puffy was like, "Where's the avocados for my liquor?" They like, "Listen, that's urban liquor. We trying to push this liquor because George Clooney liquor will sell in more astute whites with money. George Clooney's respected. So Puffy flew down now. They told him he was doing it, and he saw they didn't have any avocados for his liquor. So he decided to sue Ciroc because they looking at you paid $450 for his liquor, and y'all not doing anything with my liquor, and it's racism. So he learned, he let somebody in his mouth. He figured, I got enough money, I'm gonna take you to come and fight, like Dre did with Universal Music.
Yeah.
You don't really hear Dre now, and he gonna fall from that too, and he gonna have some crimes that's gonna come up like the rest of them. Because they're gonna learn it's certain things you don't say and do. You play with poison, and this is what you get.
And you know something too, it's a run that you said that right, because I remember when Diddy, he was with Eric Adams, right? And he gave him the key to the city, and shortly after that, Eric Adams was under investigation.
Listen, man, when they want to get you, these people come get. He took that key back. Howard took away that honorary degree that he knew he earned, so he ain't losing
Right,
that.
from Howard,
He
yeah.
gave him- and they gave him back his money. Because listen, when you cut your throat with the wrong one, these people punish you in every way.
I see.
But my end to people so-called quote unquote black is, and it's not doing it in a racist tone, but it's doing it in a tone and in a direction where we have to look at self-preservation. We never did that. We've worked to always keep what they have for them, and we just become loaners and borrowers of it. We got to start turning around things, and we got to start looking at things for ourselves. We just got to start creating to make sure we are properly represented in movies. Like Denzel was our top actor for character, for he never put himself in a role that looked like, except for Training Day, Denzel always carried himself in a way where, then at first Glory, the Officer movie he had, that was a good one back then.
Yeah.
But besides those, he came out with Ricochet with his first movie, him being a good character person. Denzel always played quality movies.
Right. Until they tried to say they had a deleted scene from that new movie. He said he kissed a man in that scene, and it kind of discredited his what do you call it? His prestige as an actor. The Gladiator 2 movie.
Okay, I never seen it. I stopped watching a lot of stuff. But I can tell y'all see what Prime Time put up in. He said there's an interesting clip of Diddy with Charlamagne with him saying that black people need to lead the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I seen that.
But I can tell people we need a party. Every party we got is there. One thing we don't need nothing called a party. We did enough of that.
Enough of that.
We won't need
That's
no more
our
parties.
problem. We partying too much. We need to be serious.
Yeah, they can afford the party because they control the whole, the whole waves and ins and out of everything. For us, we just the suckers. So we got to start, using our head to start looking at how do we come back to establish ourselves and regain what is our dignity and our self-respect.
There it
We
is.
don't have it. Diddy has definitely parted enough. Yeah, and I agree, but and what's bad, prime time, is that he was taught to party. That's what they do. They teach you how to party, and they come back and they bring you down. That's exactly what they do, and that's why we got to start changing the dynamics of how we do things, getting back control of our children in our homes, come back reaffirming our relationships with our marriages, husband and wife. We need to come back and cultivate those marriages. We need to get our single women to start looking at getting character, dignity, and self-respect for self. If you're going to get a man, what type of man you need to bring around your home, around your kids, what kind of man you need to look for. If he got to pull up his pants every 15 seconds, that's not the man. I don't care how smart he is. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He hadn't learned that they invented belts yet. He's an idiot.
You say this. You've said this for the past over 15 years. I've been have to get to know you, and it's starting to come to fruition even more so in this time and age. And you say this all the time. You don't cut no deals. You don't do no backdoor dealing. Your integrity intact. There ain't no scandals attached to your name. And now we see as to why how hard we have to fight as so-called African Americans. The littlest thing could set us back 10, 15 years. And that's what we really need as young men and young women and older men and older women, is people that have integrity. Like you always say, nobody ain't putting nothing in your behind, or
That's
you
right.
ain't going back nowhere and cut no deals, because they'll bring that stuff up. Because they said if they had anything on you, they'd have been brought it up, because all the truth that you speak. And that's not only you, but everybody that's, that has character and has quality and dignity. And that's what makes Two Mind and the Mic such an awesome platform, because we have reputable people, male and female, that that can be the face of our people, not so much as just people of color, but just people in general. It doesn't because we've been already stereotyped that we're savages, that we're uneducated, and we have some of the most educated people on the panel tonight. We have people that, that can teach through life experience about living through it, and still don't have anything that people can throw mud on and then bring up and say, hey, these not people that have integrity that you can look up to. So my hat goes off to you all. I really appreciate what y'all have done, what y'all are doing, and what y'all are going to do in the future with this platform. Again, this is your neighbor, Confederate State 48, saying hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscription, and hit the cash out.
Hit the cash out. Well, we definitely do every week too, and I know everybody appreciate. I always work with my wonderful co-host, the infamous Tiny Man. Love Tulin, working with her, and Resident Joe as well, and what they all bring to the table. What we bring, and then working along with you guys, helping us out, letting us know if there's things we miss, your comments, everything you do, working together. And that's the goal of what we're doing, is trying to work together to improve what it is we're doing. There are a lot of shows out here that talk and they want to run the polls and do this. The polls are not going to change our everyday life. On some ends, everybody keep looking at, they're looking for the savior politician, but it only goes as far as what we're willing to do to better ourselves and our community ourselves. There are things that were in our hands and our ability to come together and do. But a lot of time they put so much stress and pressure on a person to where they, you look for a maid or a butler to run and do everything. Well, they're not there to hear it. When you work in government is totally different than just everyday people. It involves so many different intricate parts, budgets and other things, and personnels and other people and things you got going. There's so many things that you have to work and formulate to do for people. There's no way to work things that every individual can be taken care of and everybody to everyone's liking, but you can make sure a general, allowance is made to make sure that the care of people as a whole are being taken care of. Then there's parts where we all have to get involved. Even with religion, with churches, there's no way for a preacher to preach a message everybody gonna fall in love with.
Right.
But you work to try to cultivate, to try to fix the masses. And then you always got other people, you drop the M, that's the way they gonna be outside the masses. Drop the M, you're never gonna please the other ones. But the goal is to try to get everybody to come into a unity or unifying to try to make better for everybody. And it takes everybody to do that.
You know, I'm sorry, Rod. Go ahead. Continue. I apologize.
Go ahead.
You say this, and you said it a lot, and I'm still grappling with trying to wrap my head around what you say, and I comprehend it, but I guess I don't. But let me say what you said first, and then I'll give you my take on it. You said that you're not for everyone, right? You say that a lot. Well, more than often, you're not for everyone. But this is what I don't understand, and it could be true, but if you're not for everyone, then that means everyone's not for the truth.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly.
That's what you. I mean, that's what you promote. That's what you stand on. What we call a mot. So, and I get it. Everybody, I believe, even though, when the scriptures say that, they say, tell us lies, speak lies to us. We rather be lied to than to hear the truth because the truth is so therapeutic. But the truth does something to us. It cleanses us out from, all wrongdoings and stuff like that. And that's the first part of healing, telling somebody the truth. You don't go to the doctor to get lied to and expect to be healed. You if they tell you the truth, if you don't want the truth, then I mean, there's nothing else I can do for you. Maybe I'm not the doctor for you. I can take your money and lie to you, or I'd rather not take your money and tell the truth. And you had made a comment doing Passat. You were like, you out committing Qatar. Don't send your money in. Don't send no offering because at the end of the day, I'm promoting truth. Don't lie to yourself, because that's not what I'm not here to do that. And I just thought I would highlight that, because a lot of the times people look at a person because they tell them the truth that they're against them. You know what I mean? Like, because I think Shaul even said, "Am I your enemy because I tell you the truth?"
That's the truth.
And as bad as the truth hurts, the truth really, really, indeed can get us where we need to be as a people. And I've grappled a lot of things that you said over the years, and I said, you know what? And then you say the book right, and that's what it is. The problem doesn't lie within the person that's speaking the truth; it lies internally with the person that's trying to receive the information. So that's just my take. I wanted to just throw that in there. So
no, you fine. And unfortunately, I had to come to grips with that. You would think if you tell the truth, people would accept it. People would, want to adhere to it. But that's not typically the character of people. People more or less now, because there are no moral, there are no real ethics anymore. So it's whatever you call it. I mean, the most unethical people consider to be ethical.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? The most moral people are considered to be moral. And we follow them and we uphold these people. And we, look to these people. Look at our celebrities. Look at our athletes. Look at Shaq. I eat booty. This don't, this is what he said. Just don't call him a favor. We the same age. They're like, oh man, wait a minute. I ain't never heard this. Like I told you people, and I was out there. I ain't never heard this stuff. I ain't never seen some of this stuff these folks talking about doing. That's too much, man. Like folks talking about a woman eating it behind holding on. Like, you don't want about it. You know what? Go back down. That middle finger, if you miss with it in the tissue, break through cheek tissue, and a wash rag.
That's it.
That's right. That's crazy, man. You don't be back there, tongue or nothing back there, man. That's error. You ain't got no business playing back there.
Man, that's
a baby wife. That's it. But that's the culture today. He's our age, and the culture today. But he got Puffy. He's around our age. Yeah. And look what these guys are doing. These guys out here, like, because the industry has opened up these doors, these entertainment. Because they teach them, we got money, we can do this. You can get away with it. We don't answer nobody. And these guys thinking, I'm friends with people. I could do that, and they all go to jail the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Smokey Robinson in trouble now.
I heard about that too.
Yeah. Supposedly raping a Byron Scott, sleeping with an 18-year-old, under 18, and I don't know how that's gonna turn out. That's 30-some years ago, whatever.
And something too, bro, I want to bring up too. It was a shock. I mean, it was a culture shock to me. Maybe they're not to some people. When I found out that allegedly Richard Pryor was homosexual, then he had a relationship with what's the man name is that Francis Ford.
They had Brandon, what's it called too? Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando, yeah, that's it. And then come to find out,
Marvin Gaye was supposed to have a affair with Malaysia.
yeah, and then Sherman Hensley from
Yeah, he
I'm
kissed
like, oh
Weezy.
my
You saw he
goodness,
kissed
like,
Weezy. I could tell
oh,
you can't tell he was gay. You watch how he walk, how he kissed Weezy. Yeah, he had a problem.
I didn't. I missed that. I missed that memo. But now that I look back at things, I'm like, oh
He was
my
a good
goodness.
actor on what show. If you really watch him outside, you can kind of see the wall. Now I'm telling you what, that George Jefferson Dan would kill him. But he was, Sherman Hensley, Family Matters dad, Prince, Fresh Prince, his uncle. Everybody been homosexual. The Rock wasn't homosexual, but they had him as a dummy and as a trash man.
Right. That was so degrading.
Rock, I'm saying, okay, Rock. He was the Rock before this other guy was rocking.
Yeah, he was the garbage man when he stayed with his brother and his sister-in-law. Yeah. What his name? Charles Dutton.
Yeah, it was. He had his brother-in-law, his dad, to stand with him.
Yeah, man.
That show, they kicked it out. They were too talented. They were right. They were doing their stuff in one set, one shooting.
They were live, right?
Yeah.
Miss Tulip and Resident Joe, Dr. Joe, this is for you ladies tonight. Okay, you remember they just had, last week they had the Mother's Day weekend, right? And they would, celebrating, motherhood and things of that nature. Okay, so they had took a poll. ABC had took a poll, and the poll was who in our lifetime was the picturesque mother. What? And they had these as candidates: Claire Huxtable, the lady from Little House on the Prairie, the woman from the '70s Show, the lady from Brady Bunch, and they who they had picked, and I was like, why wouldn't there have been
Florida?
Claire Huxtable? But the nomination went to the lady from Little House on the Prairie.
Nothing. I don't know her doing nothing. They could have put Florida on there. Florida, everything wasn't bad.
Yeah, but that was the only black so-called black candidate for it, and it was a runoff between her, the lady from Little House on the Prairie. She beat, and then what was the other lady? The other lady from the Golden Years. She was on it.
They could have been. They should have did Valona. She was the best mom with Penny.
Yeah.
Remember how she grabbed Penny mom and throw it on the wall, let her know that's my baby and my daughter.
Especially that iron scene.
Yeah, she was the best.
Yeah, that was. But you kind of. But I was just like, what's the lady name? From Little House on the Prairie.
I don't remember her name. I know Laura. Couldn't have been Laura. That might have been their mama. Because they wound up being mama. Laura and her sister.
Michael Landon's wife.
Oh, yeah. I don't know her name. His name was Paul. Her name was Mom.
Right. But she won.
Yeah, they ain't had nothing better to do.
Oh, and they had the lady from Leave It to Beaver on there. She was on there as
well.
Yeah.
She was clean. She could have been voted the cleanest mom.
Right.
He could have been the best mom. Took care of Opie. And she took care of them prisoners.
Oh, yeah, right. But I think they snuffed Claire Huxtable out though, because she was a successful mom. She was a lawyer, and I don't know. I guess she gravitated more to me because I guess of the ethnicity, and I could kind of identify with her in terms of being in you never seen that much in a black household. A mother and a father.
And a lawyer, no.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. She was very relatable because she went to work.
Right, exactly.
And she cooked dinner and
right.
She did everything. So that
we never really seen her doing the kids. He did more talking with the kids than we really seen her interact. She'll have some. Cliff did more really with them, I think, than she did because of her profession and going. It wasn't practical with her being a lawyer to really be in it. They didn't show her the law office. They showed Cliff. Sometimes his basement, his practice was in the house, so he would have been more of a mom than she was. He was right there. So it showed him more or less.
And cook.
Did you ever eat in her cooking? Exactly, with TV food.
That's what I'm thinking. It's all TV.
Florida cook. What about Florida? I remember that time when she cooked some chitlins and all that, and Jane had that blood. That's a good mom. That's a meal right there.
But they talk about these moms that they never went, they didn't go to work.
No, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. They were stay-at-home moms. All of them was.
And so was Florida. Florida didn't start working until later after Jane got killed. She got a job with the bus. She got a job driving the bus after Jane got killed.
Florida was not no stay-at-home mother.
Yes, she was. Will y'all tell her Florida was a stay-at-home Confederate?
Hold on, let me see. Let me think.
She was a stay-at-home mama. She did not get a job. One time she tried to get a job, and Jane, they wound up
Made it
firing
quit.
her.
Yeah, Jane made it quit.
Yeah,
she did have a job, but Jane did make it quit.
No,
And
they
after
wound
he
up firing.
died-
They hired him. They hired her over him, and then they wound up firing. She come home and brought a cake. He, I don't want no blanket cake, and then the job fired her. He like they let her go. They needed a black man, but then she came and the man, white man, he said a black woman was even better. So they said hire her, don't hire the husband. And Jane was like he was good, take the job, and he got mad with her, but the job wound up letting her go. Florida did not have a job until after he died.
He did have that one job, but Jane made her quit.
Yeah, she ain't have no job. She was stay-at-home mama. Man, you see how Florida look? Who finna how Florida look at her face every day? He gotta stay home. He's on eating that father's knows best. Yeah, father know best. Yeah,
Wait, no. Guess what? Guess what? He did have a job. You know why? I want to. Miss Tula, right? I'm gonna take you back now. You ready for this?
Let's go. Hold on.
Maud. She was a housekeeper.
But see, when they show her in Maud, they hadn't started the show yet.
That's
where
true.
the show came
but
from.
She was married to James then, though, because James was on the show on Maud one time.
I don't know. They put him because she wasn't. Let me tell you what happened. They created that show. They let him on now. I don't think he was because how they got that show, Good Time. They liked her because Maud, remember, Maud was feisty. Nobody could do nothing with Maud. Then they brought the black maid who could handle Maud. That's what people like. So Norman Lear he created the show to do that with her. She's the one that had them to get James. She told them the only way she would do the show, it had to have a strong black male figure.
Okay.
That's how James got on the show. Her and James were really pro-black.
Right.
They never, they hated JJ. They never talked to him.
Right.
Yeah, they never talked. They thought he was an idiot.
Yeah, so he was buffoonery.
He said they did not talk to him. He said they didn't like him. They felt like he was too stupid. They felt like he was acting too stupid. He was too goofy.
Right. I had watched the interview with the guy that played Lamont on Sanford and Son, and he said Red Fox was so bad with money. Yeah. He said, man, he say Red Fox came and asked him for money. He said, man, I'm not giving you no money. You make more money than me. He said, but Red Fox always wanted to buy gifts and look out for people. He was like, man, he was a bad manager of money. He died broke. I was like, whoa.
I didn't like his attitude. He has a really nasty attitude, right? But he don't think nobody's smart. He don't like because him and Al Pacino started out together. Doing
him and Red Fox?
No, Lamont.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lamont. Okay, he goes back to working with Al Pacino way back, years back. So they came out because he never blew up like them. Red Fox brought him on that show. Lamont never hung out with none of them. He stayed.
No, he didn't.
Him and Rollo fell out. He didn't like Rollo.
Really?
No, he did not. Like Fred liked him, but he didn't like it. That's why they had to get Rollo. That's why Rollo left the show. Then if you remember, when he left, they had Sanford and had the white guy on there. Remember, Lamont left, then he had brought Rollo back. Yeah, because Fred liked Rollo. But Lamont didn't like it.
Yeah, because he had the guy with the goat, what his name was?
Chico. I mean Julio. Yeah, Julio. And then Mr. Miyagi, the Chinese man, that was his man.
Yeah, that was his neighbor too.
Hachu. That was his man, Hachu. Kazunhai.
Somebody could have won Mother too. You remember the lady on That's My Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, she was a good mama too.
She the same mother that wound up playing with Roger now.
What's happening?
What's happening? I thought the same mama.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Same mama.
No.
I think they were the same.
That's my mama.
That's my mom. I think Roger.
He would have been a preacher in real life. Yeah, Roger mama, she died obese.
Tony, what?
The same mama. I can't remember. That's my mama. You need to look that up to see, be sure. I want to say the same mama.
That is not okay. Let me look it up. That's my mama. That's not the same. Okay.
So that was, you know, the one that Junior was coming to me. Ooh, hey.
That was Isaac off of Love Boat.
Right, so it was. That's right. And then your boy was Sweet Daddy was on the Mailman.
So it was.
Because he played. You remember he played on.
That's right. Sweet Daddy
was
Williams.
the Mailman. He was the Mailman on That's My Mama.
And him and Clifton was good. Clifton had the barbershop.
That's right.
Merritt. Her name was Teresa Merritt, but Mabel King was the one on What's
Yeah, I
Happening.
know Mabel. Yeah.
Okay. They looked alike though, kind of. They favored. They were both heavy set women.
Yeah, and she would squeeze Roger Moore. Roger, mama said, "What is it, baby? I can't breathe." Remember that?
Right.
So I always hug him too much. Yeah, that back then, she'd have been a pretty decent mom. They could have had, but they never looked at women of color. Never got to notice. All those mothers had to work. They had to scrape. When you look at the people they looked at, they just had normal little lay around lives. You know, I had to worry about one of the eggs came up missing out there, and they don't know who got it. You know, that'd be the biggest episode. They didn't have no real issues on them. They always made it. It always made it dramatic. Roger getting caught in something, get arrested. You know, Beaver never got arrested.
No.
None of the Grady Bunch kids never got arrested by accident. They get arrested, get shot. JJ gets shot.
Right.
They introduced so many bad situations using us that we thought that was normal for us. Fred Lamont struggling, police coming, buying hot stuff. Why Beaver dad never buy hot stuff?
Right. That's right. And
Yeah,
then you remember even on the Jeffersons when what's the name had got in trouble. Lionel had got in trouble, and then they had tried to adopt a little boy, and they had shot George. Remember, because he was trying. They took the little boy in, and he wound up getting shot, being in the gang, and George Jefferson wound up getting. Yeah, I'm just like, why we always got to get the bad end of it?
You mean what you call it got shot? That was JJ got shot.
No, I'm talking about on the Jefferson. You remember when George got shot?
So
they shot George.
They gang kid. They the
gang kids. I think they shot him or stabbed him. One of the two.
Little young boy.
Yeah, because he tried to take him. They tried to take him in. Him and Weezy tried to take him in, and he went. And the boy was stealing out of the dry cleaners.
Yeah.
With the gang. Yeah, I was like, yeah, but.
Always they make it rough. Never had that with Leave It to Beaver. No, Daddy never got laid out because they looked at white people don't want to see things they don't want to see reality. That's why they put us away and they don't want to see this is the reality of what happened in life. So you hide and you watch shows that only show good, positive things happening.
Yeah.
Look at Jerry Seinfeld. None of them have a real job and he still makes it. You never see him go to work on that. He's never broke. He never needs to go get a loan. He's never getting even George go a long time without working. You never hear him getting evicted.
Mm-hmm.
He got a girlfriend who worked for NBC. Her parents are filthy rich. Got a cabinet, got money, foundation. Look, Kramer. He was off of work for 15 years. They called him back to work. He went back to work and wound up getting fired. But it never affected his rent, never affected anything.
No.
Even the situation it always works out. It's funny. It was never funny when JJ got shot.
No.
It wasn't funny when JJ got locked up for robbery.
Right.
It wasn't funny when Michael got tied up with the little gang kid. See what I'm saying? None of our stuff is funny. Penny getting burned with the iron by her mother and having to be adopted. None of our stuff is funny. It's tragic. It's heartbreaking. And they look at this is our life. This is not just our life. This is America. This is the world we live in. And we have to stop allowing ourselves to be used and these folks make a fool out of us and we keep pandering to these people. We had to start using our heads. But I know our time up, Fez. I know y'all tired. We're going to get ready to go. We appreciate all y'all over there. Confederate came back just in time before we get ready to go. We appreciate your time. I had to go up here and let Smitty. I got to let Tula chase me around, look at my naked body.
Oh my gosh, Tony, really?
Yes, you want to. You want to see my
microphone. I don't have my microphone.
Resident Joe, will you tell her it's normal for her to want to look at my naked body?
It's normal, Tula. It's
Thank
normal.
you. Thank you.
It's normal for him to want to look at your body too. It's okay.
She do.
Anyway.
If you want my body and sexy, come on, baby, let me know. Yeah, she like that, don't it? So we gotta get ready to go out of here in a way.
Yeah,
Go
she wants to go now.
and you're gonna have to, and y'all get ready to have y'all saying, y'all know what I'm telling them. Listen, y'all know every week we appreciate you. Don't try to pull them the time to clock in. Look here, don't get no cash wig. Come see me. We ain't gonna bring nobody. It's gonna be me and you. It's just me and you. Yeah.
Wow.
Every week.
He's just romantic, Confederate.
It's
his own special way.
That's it. So we're gonna try to again. We appreciate y'all letting us come in.
Yes.
Every Thursday, sharing and talking and caring, and sometimes we have known to cry because it's been a touching situation. We appreciate you guys. The Two Mics in the Mind would not be what it was if it wasn't for you. We encourage you to share these broadcasts, subscribe, as well as clicking in, and don't be scared of the cash out. And we will appreciate you so very much. And you remember, if anybody asks you, do you mind? You tell them you always mind. Every Thursday night, right here on 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Two Mics and My Mind. If anybody asks you, if nobody had told you they love you, we love you. And our language is called a hug. Tuli, Resident Joe, and Confederate 48, because old no good doo-doo Wayno is home. Make us home.
Yeah.
That's it. What you got for us, Confederate?
I got this one.
Go ahead.
We've heard it before, but it never gets old.
Let's hear it.
You can make one or two choices.
Yes.
Bad choice
or
the right choice.
Watch out, man.
Come on down to Right Choice Motors, where Ron Tony Smith and the team will definitely take care of you.
That's it. Let's have 2122 Page Street. Come on down to Right Choice. Anywhere else is the wrong choice. What you got for a resident? Oh, she thinking we in trouble now. Whenever she start thinking and looking up, I don't care what she finna come with. What you got for her?
The choices you make today determine your tomorrow.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm following. I'm just following
That's a good, safe choice. I mean, yeah.
You have to, because if you do the right choice, you'll have a good tomorrow. If you do the wrong choice, you will have, just a negative.
Equity.
That one just came up. Living life, you have to be polite, but the one thing to make sure is that you're always right.
It's a long one though, Rob, but it makes sense.
That hurt.
Like, preacher, I try to analyze it real quick.
I had to try to download that.
I said no refund. No refund. That's the right to now when you got. That's it. No refund. Get it? Come listen. If you make out the parking lot and make a right or left, it's yours. We take care. Don't forget that. Living life, you have to be polite, but always make sure that you're right.
Right. Okay. Now, yeah, that's it.
Now you're right. See that? Here she go. Now she got what? There she go. You got another one?
No. I got it for next week. I'm gonna follow I'm gonna follow.
Oh my goodness, we'll forget all about this next week. Come on, Tula, what you got for us?
I only have one.
She
Be the reason
for the season.
Okay.
All right, come on. It ain't Christmas. We just going with you saying.
Be the reason someone believes in good people.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. That's
true.
nice.
Be the example. That's right.
It is. That's yeah.
Oh, let me guess, Dr. Resident Joe. That inspired you too.
Everything here, both of you guys inspire me all the time.
Yeah, I thought it was me. And my preacher is my preacher, and this is my preacher. It's all both of you guys. Which one is it? I'm so confused.
Both inspire me in different ways.
Yeah, that was Miss Tuli. One more time for those that probably came in tuned in late. Could you repeat that one just one more time?
That should have been one of them. Go ahead.
Be the reason someone believes in good people.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Because in this
the
world of
word tonight.
negativity, we need, and that's what I say. Two minds in the mic. We definitely have those on the panel. Yeah.
We might have to go to 2 men on the mic. These two women keep making up these bogus saying. We might go 2 men on the mic. Yeah, I like 2 men
That
on the
was
mic.
my mess up. That was on.
No, we appreciate y'all guys. Y'all know
Yes.
appreciate. We gotta still let's get off from here and get back to work. I gotta get Palau out. Other stuff gotta get done and get moving. But hey, we appreciate you guys so much, so much. We'll hobble y'all. Love to see a lot of y'all tomorrow night.
Come
Ain't that
on.
right? That's it. All right, Tulin, take us out of here.
All right. Night night. Let's see.
Night. Shalom.
Good. Hold on.
Shalom. I don't know what happened yet.
Hey,
She trying to take us out.
I'm trying to take you out. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Wow.
No, teacher, not that way.
What?
Don't put in that password. She's trying to go to end. No refund. Don't forget that. Ahaba. See, Wayno left her. Y'all see why we don't have no confidence, Chelsea, too. Go make a baby, Chelsea. Ahaba, y'all. Ahaba, he put Ahaba, y'all.
We're about to take it back. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love got me going live on the radio. 2 mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind.
All right, you do something better, I do something better, and we'll be better together. Until next week, Carolyn. Good night.
I need my medicine too, Tula. Come on, give me. I need my sexual healing. Oh, you come to see me. I'm sick.
Yes, true that. Goodbye.
We're about to take it back. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love got me going live on the radio. 2 mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind. 2 nights and a mind.